Futures back to the downside ever so slightly here this morning, coming off quite the recovery day yesterday. It was a huge gap down, if you remember, and then just straight higher all day long, especially for the NASDAQ. Pretty light on the economic calendar to start things off at 8:30 here this morning. But keep in mind, coming up at 9:45, we get that S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. It's a final number for March. Same story then at 10 o'clock. ISM Manufacturing PMI as well. Again, a final number for March, 9:45 and 10 o'clock. Really the only two that you need to worry about at this point this morning. A ton of things moving around here so far this morning. A number of not so great numbers out of Europe once again this morning for Tesla, except for Spain. Spain registrations actually rose for the first time in a couple of years. So Tesla up 1.6%, despite France, Sweden, all the other countries essentially in Europe down as far as registrations are concerned. But a little bit of follow through here this morning so far pre-market for Tesla, which is good to see after quite the day yesterday. J&J notably weak here to start things off this morning. Judge throwing out their $10 billion talc case. So, I mean, not a lot of volume behind this so far this morning, but 4%, better part of 4% here to the downside. We'll talk about that crazy NMAX IPO from yesterday. Man, what a wild, wild trade that was. Very, very tiny float. Adira sitting with me here this morning. Sharif with the rest of the week off. Good to see you.
Happy to be here. There's a lot to talk about today and this week as well. I mean, NMAX, of course, with that IPO priced at $10, opened at 14, reached a high of 83. It was well above 100 as of this morning. Yeah. Tesla, too, in addition to these delivery numbers in Europe, we also had the South China Morning Post reporting that apparently they're going to be ramping up their production in China, but Wells Fargo still has them as one of their tactical underweight plays. So lots of differing views on TSLA. 10 a.m., I think those JOLTS job openings will be pretty interesting, so lots to look out for so far.
ON, another one here. Downside so far this morning, 2.5%. CEO Mark Maurer stepping down as of July of this year. Martin Hoffman going to take over the CEO role. So light volume as well. ON. He was the founder of the company too. So stepping aside to do other things, maybe enjoy life a little bit, but we'll keep an eye on that one. Notably, a little bit of strength coming out of China this morning. You mentioned a couple of stories Tesla related, but XPeng to the upside, NIO to the upside as well. So you got to pick and choose your spots here, guys, but seeing a little bit of green this morning to continue from yesterday.
Yeah, it depends on where you look. I mean, ON's off on the wrong foot. There it is.
There it is.
Joining the Musk. Well, it's not the Musk. I don't know.
This is Wisconsin. This is for Green Bay and for Wisconsin. Elon Musk was joining us, obviously.
He's not. He's not a truth. He's not.
Nothing wrong with that. No, he's not. But you know, pandering to the people.
That's what he.
There it is. Yeah, we have the official. I got this at Lambeau Field, and I was just telling the story about it. So
it's in remarkably good shape considering.
Yeah, this
20
is 20.
Years old.
Yeah, it's around 20 years old, I would say. But it's a formation, like it's an original one, and it's the cheese head. I don't know if we'll be trading with it or not.
Well, you have to. So you have to leave it on for the first trade, and then sort of see how it happens. It can't be that heavy. Is it really?
Feel how heavy it is, yeah.
It's got some heft to it.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be a little bit uncomfortable after a while, but
and annoying to the viewers, I think, as well.
I'm sure there's at least a few cheeseheads in fan base here.
Dominic, I know, is from Wisconsin. A few other people in there.
They're in the Big Ten. I can't.
We're gonna get. Oh no, here comes Randy.
Yes, Randy.
What's up, Randy?
Randy's
you know, I already showed this to you. Get out of here.
He's pretending.
Get out of here, man.
Like Randy hasn't seen it before.
Randy.
Boom.
Thank you.
Well, don't hit it too hard. You're gonna bruise the banana. Sheesh. I got the backup.
Maybe I'll put it on the desk behind.
How does that even work? The one from today is more ripe than the one from yesterday. So I'm eating today's, I guess.
Yeah, I have yesterday's still hanging around here, but yeah, no. Okay. Oh, you know what I wanted to actually call up there was that story about ON, because like whenever I listen to, you know, podcast, CNBC specifically, or, you know, whatever kind of talk about how Nike's doing or Lulu or everything, everybody's always like, man, this ON, they're everywhere. Like they're eating Nike's lunch. And they might be, and they are. I mean, they're taking market share. There's no doubt. But it's just this name also, like if you kind of like the story, you know, of, I mean, they're not a relatively new entrant into the market or anything like that, but, you know, they've had their run. But this pullback again, if you believe in this business, and I mean, you never want to see a founder, especially when he's leaving as CEO and going to pursue other businesses or other opportunities. That's not a great sign. So down 2.5% today. Maybe we get a little lower, but what about if ON, if we like the stock, then maybe we like it, on a little bit of a move down in, like maybe this 37, 38 area. So you're at 42 today. Give it a little shakedown into this area there, and you might have something. So yeah, ON, just one of those next names. And then Lululemon off day 3 earnings. Right, today's the 3rd day, and it's been hit and hasn't really reversed itself. So, this is a name, again, that's been getting crushed in the athleisure sector. And, another name that getting into something where, hey, maybe after this sort of bloodbath that this stock has had, and again, their numbers were fine. Everything is about the guide, and then Nike as well. So you're getting to an area here where we've been underneath, and then it just had a monster run off of this 230. It almost doubled right there from July to February. So that was almost a double up. So you're getting in. Again, I just wanted to zoom out a little bit there because Lululemon's getting into an area now. If you thought this was going to hold, obviously it did not. And then we make the new levels down. Stocks can go down for a very long time.
It is true.
Lululemon's been doing that now for a minute. So maybe there's something there.
You know what can't go down? Microalgo can't go down.
No, and neither can NewsMax.
And NewsMax neither. And so when we say anecdotes about these two stocks, probably more so, the NewsMax is ridiculous. We're not joking around today. I know we all know what today is, but yeah, Microalgo another 26%. It just broke out again. I feel like every single time we pull this up, it's defying logic. And the crazy thing about Microalgo is it's actually more reasonable, right, than NMAX. In terms of the move, NewsMax, the spread is gonna kill you. The volume isn't even all that big, but this is just not a lot of shares available meets irrational exuberance is what, let's just call it that, because it's got to $100 yesterday, turned around in the aftermarket, and now all of a sudden it's broken 100. It's gone back and forth a few times, back over $100, 10x from the issue price, and it opened at $14. Yeah, all while we were interested in CoreWeave, this one has been the big one. But there's a lot to look at today. The chip names are going to be in play. I love where Micron bounced from. We talked about that yesterday, bouncing off that 84, 85 area, looking continuation on that bad boy. And oh yeah, some terrorists might come tomorrow. We'll see.
Might.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure will.
Well, yeah, they will.
Yeah, what's up, Preston, and everybody in the chat there? It's almost NFL draft day. 24th, I think, 20-something days.
It is going to be...
What horrible advice that was that I gave on Newsmax to tell people to take maybe 700%. Today...
I said to sell 74.
102, as Neil was just mentioning there. Bruh. So if you didn't take your 700% or 750% yesterday, add 22 to that, 772% right there from yesterday's amazing open.
Not going to end well.
I'm taking every IPO from now on. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't do that, honestly. It doesn't make any sense because you could just get out if you're wrong, and if you're right, it's stairway to heaven.
It opened on the even dollar and never broke the even. That's the frustrating thing. You get the fill, you throw the stop. It's not like it did anything to threaten you. That's what's frustrating because I think a lot of times we'll take the IPO and it's oh, there's a little bit of a shakeout early. There wasn't even one on that. That's what makes it a bit frustrating. But you know what? We'll get another chance because,
yeah.
I mean, Klarna's not the same as NewsMax, but Klarna should be sometime this month. They're supposed to price in April, so we'll be excited to see them. Interestingly enough, I'm just going to throw it out there. Adair is in green today, so I kind of counted yesterday as a green day because the market rallied from the open, even though it ended up just slightly down on the NASDAQ and maybe slightly up on the ES there. But yeah, hopefully that's a good sign for us over there at the Nest.
Meanwhile, yeah, there she is. The green is being represented, the market back higher. Meanwhile, gold back green as well. I was just noticing, guys, back to the upside again today. So the march higher in gold. Mitch Hoke is waiting in the green room, liking the gold move. We'll get to him in a second. I want to mention this real quick. Boeing downside here a little bit, anyways, trying to reject 170 once again. They came out saying 737 MAX production 38 to 31 jets per month due to unresolved wing system delays. So more complications as far as production, it looks like, for Boeing. Again, 737 MAX going from 38 per month down to 31. So a little bit weak here for Boeing. Let's bring him in whenever he is ready. We'll get his take on gold. Mitch, you a gold guy?
Yeah,
you liking this all-time high?
I mean, I still grew up in that time where everyone, I love gold, baby.
At this level, though, is there an actual trade here, or is it something that you should have been in 6 months ago?
Well, unless you got a big excavator and you're washing gold and rocks, I don't think it's going to be that much more that you can get in gold. But it's a place to hide out, right? It's a place of safety, at least. And it's kind of funny that in this market environment, it's doing this type of move. During the pandemic, we thought that it would be this type of move, right? And then this is a big move overblown, I think. But it's more about just looking for return in the markets. And in a year like that we have right now, where the uncertainty is as high as it's ever been, what happens? Choppy lands in the equity markets, and so traders are looking elsewhere where they can make some money. Of course, you've been seeing the move in gold, and all basic materials are starting to look better. Whether you look at steel, whether you look at copper, I think we're really going into more of a cycles where the materials are going to be the important thing. You guys see even Trump mentioning more battles about materials, and the whole battle right now, whether if they want to kind of end the war in Ukraine and Russia, it's more focused on materials. So continue to focus on that as a bigger investment in the longer term, right?
Oh, that's boring though, Mitch, when you can just go and buy NewsMax at $14 and get 700-800% return in a day. That was nuts yesterday. Were you involved in that?
Oh, I wasn't involved in that one, but I did see micro algo as that was ripping through, and we called that one for the breakout. And man, it's crazy to be able to trade these, right? Or to also be able to short these, right? One of the great things, of course, on Trade the Pool is that you can go long and short some of these and not have to worry about borrow fees or anything like that. And so on a day like yesterday, yeah, you might get your face ripped off on a short, but today, maybe that might be the move on that play, right? And so I think there's always that flip-flop, right? With volatility can come the returns. So, of course, that's one of the best things of Trade the Pool. We got the ability to go long and short these names, whether they be pennies or bigger stocks.
From a mechanics standpoint, I mean, I think short at your own peril, even today,
Yes.
it's gonna have to show itself that it wants to actually go down. I mean, I'm just sitting here watching this thing bouncing along $100 still as support for NewsMax, but teeny tiny little float here, 7.5 million shares.
Yeah, that's the key here is the float rotation that happened yesterday, right? And so with these types of stocks, what you want to do is start seeing that volume die down, especially waiting for those kind of low volume pre-market days, right? And so with these types of moves, you need to be kind of more show me the breakdown first, and then you can try to maybe catch some of that bounce. I like VWAP fade strategies on that move. So what you're looking for is a big, let's say 5% move down out the gates, and then a move back towards that VWAP to have an ability to short off that pre-market support, right? And so we'll see what happens with a stock like that. There's some other ones, right? GRR has been moving to keep an eye out on different names out there. And there's always going to be these small caps. I see one this morning, CSAI. There's always going to be availability to play these. And one of the best ways to play them, of course, we got them all on Trade the Pool.
A few, yeah. I mean, ICCT up big time, 40% here. IBO, another one, a little high flyer, SATX. I want to talk about Tesla here real quick and get your take on this. If you go out to a daily chart, I mean, this is obviously not, but pretty nice reversal candles put in on many, many charts. This was one of them yesterday after the big gap down. We get almost back to green for this. The market does go green. Here we are gapping up. So some showing follow through here this morning, heading in the right direction.
Yeah, it's heading in the right direction. It's a nice bounce. I put an anchored VWAP bottom on the 10th or the 11th, whichever day you really want to put it, because it's a double bottom look there. So if I put that, that's near around the 250 level. We recovered that yesterday. And the big part of watching Tesla's daily chart and many charts on the market was kind of looking for those V bottoms, right? They don't talk about these in technical analysis books, but I've seen them too many times in the market to kind of not look for them, right? The V bottoms, very quick bottoming and then just riding up that wall of worry. That's what we're doing right now. My biggest concern though with Tesla is just the used car trade is real in 2025. And that's all about the car prices just going way too high for a consumer that's starting to slow down. Just watch for auto part zones. Auto part plays, the used car plays, Carvana, AutoZone. Could see continued lifts with these tariffs. Average car being at 50,000. Car delinquencies at their high. So if there's any concern in the market, it is all about two areas. It's credit cards and auto delinquencies. That's what really could break this market. It's not a housing situation that I'm worried about in this place, but I still think that we need to be watching this. If you want to see where the threat to the bulls are, it's in the consumer. And I think that we also got to be watching airlines and cruises to start showing some kind of breakdown there. And you can look at the lodging area too, the leisure side of things, as of course consumer spending expectations are in the gutter right now.
If you zoom out a little bit, I mean, well said, first of all. If you zoom out a little bit, I think there's more to come as far as what we'll learn about the consumer going into earnings season, get a little bit of a take as far as sales are concerned. Real quick, CoreWeave just popped up in front of me here. It wasn't much of a move, but back to the upside here for this one as well. Kind of died down yesterday. Really wasn't much action on CRWV, just bouncing along 36, kind of 36 to 38 range here. You watching this one today?
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it. It's going to be one of those where I would look for a chart, like kind of how ARM opened up, right? If you guys remember ARM, when it first opened up, it had a couple of days of struggle. It actually struggled for about, I'd give it, it's about 13 days, and then finally started to bottom out and make a drive back. So with a lot of IPOs, of course, it's all about the value that it came out at. I think at this point, you look for that dip, and once the market starts to actually rally, look for this to be a leader in that momentum move. So if you're looking for a momentum player in the rally, this is definitely on the shopping list and one to watch for.
What is happening? Tell us about what's new and exciting over at Trade the Pool.
Well, of course, we got our new Max and Flexible programs, and I'm not talking about the flex. I'm talking about being flexible for long periods of time and evals, right? One of the number one feedback that we got was, but I can't make it in the 45 days. Well, we gave you an unlimited time to pass these evaluations. So now it's more based on what? Just trading skill, guys. Just focus on trading. That's the opportunity that we give you at Trade the Pool, is always just trying to give traders the opportunity to learn and get to the levels that they're looking at versus taking their, $3,000 in savings that they worked very hard for, putting it all in one account, blowing up and ruining the confidence, as confidence is a key and vital for your trading success, especially as you're a beginner.
Great insight, as always. Mitch Hoke, best of luck today.
Yeah, definitely. Keep your eyes on the industrial trade, guys. I still think that that's the area where we got to watch. If you see the comments by Trump, one of the things he keeps leaning on is that he's bringing investments here, that he's bringing jobs here. Watch how this slowly transitions from Liberation Day and tariff conversation to what an industrial boom here in the United States. So if we're going to see a lift, it has to come from manufacturing here. I'm watching the DIA as one of those indicators.
Great stuff. Thanks, Mitch.
Materials can't be bad either in case of that. Well, you know what? When Mitch was mentioning, watch out for the travel names, airlines, cruise lines. Well, the entire airline group got not the boot, but Jeffries gave him the old downgrade this week, and it's not looking very good. I mean, I could pull up AAL. Actually, the chart looks worse on AAL, but I think it's UAL that is the one I'm watching today because I love 200-period moving averages. It's great when stocks find them and hold on to them. It's bad to a certain extent when you lose it, and that just recently lost the 200-period moving average and making a fresh run at the low. Now, obviously, everything rallied yesterday off that flush bottom, and one of the things to watch today is, okay, well, where do we stand? Are you like Tesla? Are you out and about above where we closed and rallied? Or are you still underneath last week's bottoms, and if anything, gapping under like these airlines? So these end up in the other side of the equation. And I mentioned that the reason I looked at UAL instead of AAL, well, AAL is kind of already at the bottom. So it's not like it can't go any further. This one, very similar look, like, kind of bounces underneath the prior lows, but it's already at the lows, whereas I feel like United, Delta, both of them actually are in that group, are going to sit and give you that opportunity for a little bit of catch-up game, because I'd be worried about them as well. I mean, obviously, even if there's only a chance at a recession, it doesn't take much. It doesn't usually take much. And speaking of downgrades and upgrades, let's go to Adara at the screen.
Some of these names and sectors were actually just mentioned here by Mitch from Trade the Pool. Ulta here kicking things off with an upgrade from Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs also upgraded AutoZone. Then we have Amazon here, one of quite a few mega cap names with initiated coverage here from Westpark Capital. Amazon here, they gave a $280 price target. Then here we have Citigroup with a positive note on Micron, not necessarily an upgrade, but they did maintain their $120 price target and buy rating with some positive notes on their DRAM outlook. Then we have Delta and American Airlines, both downgraded here along with Southwest by Jefferies. We have Lululemon here with a downgrade from Argus, again, as mentioned earlier, day 3 earnings. And last but not least, Strategy here, up on the day, but getting a downgrade from Moness, Crespi, and Hart with a $220 price target, guys.
Well, went over the airlines there a little bit, but Micron, I like that upgrade. It doesn't really matter, upgrade, downgrade, left, right. It doesn't. Who cares? It bounced off that 84, 85 yesterday. That's what I'm concerned about. As long as it's holding it, you're up 1% into a down market. It looks strong. Other people buy it down here, and when big money manages to hold the level, it held on earnings. It's held multiple times and walked through multiple earnings down around that mid-80s. 84 was yesterday's low. In the afternoon, it was a long off of 86, where it was going 86 to like 86.6, 86.7. Ended up closing just shy of 87. So I'm looking at that 86 spot. We're in the afternoon for a dip buy, and if that loses, I'm still looking long in front of the 84. As long as we hold this bid, I'm looking longs on Micron down here. If you lose 84, obviously that's a bit of a flat bottom break, but you cross that bridge when you get there.
I just right now looking at MLGO, 3.2 million shares already. As Mitch had mentioned, starting to go again here in the pre-market. I mean, what a move. $3-4 last week, up to $30 right now. Yeah, I was going to say, and I'm bidding right here just in case this comes through, $28. Like, this sort of support here from the pre-market. I mean, the real support right now is at 30. I just thought if we lost that, 29 is VWAP, and then you get into this 28 area. Whether or not you bid 28.50, even 29, just looking at MLGO right here, huge move off the open, but then there's the fade back to the 200 period, right? Then it does test the 200 period again. So just thinking that that's another possibility. That's 26.50, I think, where you have to admit you're wrong on MLGO. So yeah, it's looking really strong here again today. So I'm already on the bid here of micro algo, looking to see if we can get that, that a little lower. But yeah, lots of volume here in the pre-market. You can see trading almost like it's open. You will have some slippage here, so try to plan for 30 or 40 cents probably, like if a level breaks. But at the end of the day, there it is. And a lot of you are trade pre-market, so yeah, MLGO right now today, another rocket ship here to the upside. So, and then NewsMax, I just want to look at some of the prices. 108 now, just like still going. So up another 8% from the last time that we checked this one out. So, wow, some of these names just keep going. I know it's not like a DWAC kind of day or anything like that, but these names are what's hot in here. These are the new GameStops, the new AMCs, these new releases that come with such low floats. And, a little bit of news behind them, such as IPO, and there we go. So, I mean, there's not going to be any puts on this or anything like that. It's too early, I guess, to have options action, but at the end of the day, we all know this is not, this is linear cable company. This is not going to be a $109 stock next week for sure. It's going to be 109,000. No, I have no idea what.
Locates have more than doubled from yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah? I didn't even look at what they were yet.
It was 24 cents a share yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Today it's 65.
Right.
So it's, it's up like 250%. on locates. I feel like, so this was kind of an indicator on HKD, just anecdotally, like you checked every single day, and then it was a similar trajectory on HKD, and then one day the locates went up to $187 for 100 shares, which is pretty pricey. It spiked, and that was I think that was the high. I'm gonna keep an eye on that just in case you get like, because you could plot it, like it was 24 bucks yesterday. When I looked this morning, it was 40 something when I sat down. Now it's $65 for locates. So you're on an upward trajectory along with the stock for Newsmax. Maybe it's an indicator, maybe it's not, but usually if people are piling in or more people have that demand, price goes up, up, up. And when it gets prohibitive for a lot of traders, a lot of times that's when you start to see it go to the downside, start to come back in. You know, some hedge funds are probably gonna be all over this 100%. Just be careful trading it. The difference, and there's a reason why I think Sean's looking at MLGO, and I would much sooner trade MLGO. Like, look at the structure of it yesterday compared to Newsmax. You're not worried about it halting every 2 seconds. Like, it consolidates off VWAP. It gives you entries. You can risk $1 to make 3. You can get out with reasonable slippage. Those are all things that are questionable in Newsmax to a certain extent. It looks good, but every time I saw it like drop the bid, like it was a little bit ridiculous. Like the bid would just evaporate, and you wonder where you'd get out if you had a stop order. Ooh. And I don't have to wonder where we're getting our next cup of Joe, because there it is right here. Thank you very much, Randy. Have you seen this cup of Joe? Okay. Anyways, you seen this Newsmax? Unbelievable, man. That's Joe over there, by the way. He's always looking dapper. This stock is ridiculous. IPO'd at the issue was 10 bucks, opened at 14, got to 100 in the aftermarket. It's at 109 today. Wow. News media companies. You know, it's like, it's just squeezing, that's all. This is what Rivian needs to do. It needs a good old-fashioned squeeze, but yeah, you need a catalyst to do that. And as we speak, it breaks the high of the day. You can't make it up. Can't make it up. I just heard something about Qualcomm just now in my ear. So let me go over. Couldn't really make it out. It doesn't look like, Qualcomm's not moving. I just heard something about Qualcomm in my ear, but reality is small cappers. I understand people are going to look at Newsmax, but it's weird to say you're safer trading MLGO, but truth be told, if you have an out, you want to be able to know that you can get your out in a reasonable fashion and understand that this is how much I'm risking on this trade. I think with Newsmax, that gets very, very tricky.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at it, 113. Now 109. You know, a name that, we're not doing the rundown quite yet, but what about Meta? Meta yesterday, again, we talked about how much this name pulled back. And to think about where you want to be involved with, or what names you want to be involved with, I'm not sure Meta is affected too much. Like, what tariffs are going to be announced tomorrow that should affect Meta? You know, we did talk about sort of the development of the Oculus and some of those Ray-Bans and all that won't be manufactured, I'm assuming, in the United States, will not be manufactured in the United States. So those could take a bit of a price hit, but I don't think so. Like, they're not selling enough of them to move the needle. So for me, on Meta, again, really like this name. Down to the 200 period moving average seems like a decent play here for META. You know, one name that's been holding, you know, as opposed to the biggest and the baddest maybe of them all, this Google here that continues to, and it is the baddest, I think that's for sure, continues to make moves lower and not even thinking about holding the 200 period. It didn't even look at that when it came down here. And you continue to go lower. So I think Meta, for some, you know, looking to dip by, that might be the one. This still appears to be broken. So, whoa, yeah, okay, we had some bad prints there. But just looks like it wants to come back into these areas. So 150, we dipped under there or close enough to under there yesterday, and then the nice rally back to close. But at the end of the day, Google down at 150 could be a level to look at if we do get into there. And then, you know, Meta, like I asked today, and I just put something out, are we bullish or are we bearish, right? And so on X, is that what it is? Yeah, X no longer owned by Elon Musk. Now XAI owning X right now. Here it was, I should have put a poll. Bulls or bears? Like, everybody's very, very mixed today. What's up, Airplane Jane? Oh, Airplane Jane is still a bear. Okay. Oh, wow, nice little AI generated. So there you go. See, it's like, this is kind of like what, nice job on that one. That's pretty cool. A mix, you know, hybrid, EV hybrid right here. So yeah, see, neither. Look at everybody responding here, you know? So thanks, Max, Jesse, and Iggy Sosa for that as well. Thank you for all the comments. But yeah, I'm not really sure either. Everything is, I don't see the poll.
I have either or. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying too. Everything
on
my list is longs. So I don't know. Things just setting up, I guess, better to dip by right now than to look for top.
For the airlines.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I think it's going to be, as Mitch said, and as you've been saying, industrials and things like that. Starting to move around there. And then, of course, gold. I think if there's going to be one long, you know, Mitch did highlight this as well. Gold, you know, continues to make new highs. So there it goes, man. Peter Schiff, al. Everybody that's been getting involved with gold, good on you, man. Like Brendan said, man, I wish we had that 6 months back because, you know, this kind of breakout here. I was lucky enough to be involved in the 250s, but again, like less than like 0.5%. Like I'm not even in it really, just looking at it. But there it goes, man. Gold to the upside. Silver possibly next as well. Continuously going. But this is not known as a store of value as much. This is more just like a continuation play on gold. So if you like the space, I mean, this could be next, but I think just stick with gold. So, yeah, JOLTS jobs coming this AM as well. S&P PMI yesterday, we had a good number, consumer PMI, and that started to go back up to the upside again. So, or purchasing managers, sorry. And today we get another one at 9:45, plus JOLTS at 10. So, yeah, it should be
a lot of data today.
Should be interesting. All right, let's go look at our watch list, I think.
We're just reading a headline here from the White House, apparently considering roughly 20% tariff on most imports, whatever that means. That's from the Washington Post, so heads up on that. Yeah, that Qualcomm headline that Neil was mentioning, they're considering a bid for a company called AlphaWave IP Group. Obviously not public, but again, Qualcomm considering a bid for a company called AlphaWave IP Group. Qualcomm did absolutely nothing on that, but yeah, as mentioned, let's get into what we need to know here this morning a ton. Moving around, if you haven't done so, jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign-up page. And then all you need is an email address, and you can have the watch list for free every single day as everything that's moving around in the pre-mark on it and why. Couple things. XPeng popped up there right to day highs, but then faded immediately. So up nicely, though, today, 3.5% here for XPeng. Let's talk about the one that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in to start things off here. NewsMax, 735% on debut. Came out at $14. It was actually priced at 10, comes out at $14. Here we are. Who cares? It's $100 higher this morning here, guys, for NewsMax.
It halted multiple times yesterday. Every time it started to get a little bit of momentum, especially in the first couple hours or so, it would halt. You could have caught that during yesterday's midday session. Now, in terms of the actual monetary info here, apparently they raised $75 million from their IPO under Regulation A+. They also raised $225 million through a preferred private offering. So 75 mil through the IPO, 225 mil through a preferred private offering. Again, though, as Brendan said, the main thing to know here is that it has exceeded that $100 level after, again, being priced at $10.
Crazy. 24 hours. Not bad.
Not even.
Again, news coming out, just reading a multimedia platform provides original news and lifestyle updates from its linear cable television and over-the-top news channels. So a booming industry. No, but, you know, we talked about some of what's been happening here with the release of the share float. I mean, you know, Brendan and Adaro just sort of covered that. There's not too much news on this stock other than it's just doing what it wants to do. There's not enough shares out here to sort of sit and someone to make a proper market. And I mean, that's basically what's happening. No one wants to get short because you're just gonna have to cover. Like where's your out, right? If you take a 115 short right now, there it's already at one. Okay, yeah, I have to look at that poll. Short is right, but short's not right today. Like, I mean, I mean, you could catch a top and that's fine, but it's like to go short right now, I'm not convinced that that's going to be the right play. As I said, like there, now 14s are printing, now 15s are printing. So it's just the liquidity is already $1.50. So I would say the best the best advice really is if we look back at what happened yesterday, and I know yesterday was day one, it did give top wicks a couple times, and you could have followed those moves back in, right? So there's like that first top wick, and then even if you didn't catch like the first $5 or $6, 10% or so down, it did continue. And then there it is again, there's another wick top. So even if you don't catch that, even if you let the candle close, these are just 1 minute candles. Maybe you even want to use the 30-second candle, I don't know. But like if you let that sort of close, then you can play off that being your new out and catch a move back down. So it like happened once, right? Happened there again on this huge wick there. You still had a nice move to the downside. And then there again, you know, everywhere else where we just kept on going up, we never really had that stopping moment. We just kept on ripping like right into here. There is no high wicks, right, to fade that. So that's a dangerous fade. That's 75 to 72. That's not worth it. And then pops right there at the end of the day, you know? So I would just say like, watch out. I don't know if we're going to halt too much now right off the open. I mean, we'll probably halt as we start going down. But again, it's still going to have to be 10% up. So even if we open at 120, it's going to have to get to 135 before it halts or so. And then you're going to get a halt, and then people are going to get scared and panic again. Like it was just at 116, and I'm like, you can't short this thing. Now it's at 119. So if you voted short, that poll went up when it was at $102. So right now you're down 20%. Like that's the whole problem.
Yeah.
Is it's very hard to value risk.
It's easy to say it's going to go down eventually to like $25 if they're wherever the heck it settles out, because it's going to. But that's not, trading isn't like that. The only people that can do that are hedge funds, because they have the money that they can just sit there out of the money forever or for a long period of time, knowing it's going to come back down. And sometimes they get blown out, but it's just a different game that they're going to play. I think the other side to like, they gave you a double top. I think that was at least a reasonable shot. Like Ishan was saying, that you could maybe take a shot there. But there were also a few consolidations on those pullbacks. Like these are more reasonable opportunities to try to grab longs. You see it consolidate, a couple of wick bottoms. Like in here, like you could be risking $1, $2 for a trade, and then you can work with the dream. Everything else is a little bit crazy. Like we were saying before, chasing this is kind of nuts. If you can get it on a consolidation, great. Micro algo has been a little bit more like structured, like nice normal stair step pattern. Hold things like VWAP right now, hold it like support at a prior resistance level.
Like that's 124.
Just more interesting things. I just think with this NewsMax, it's just completely insane. It's in HKD territory. I think once the locates get over $100, I think that might be a sign of a top, but
125.
Yeah, like it's completely, it's detached from reality in a certain extent, and these are just what little shorts are available out there, getting consistently and constantly blown out. So it ends poorly in both ways usually up here. So you take your profit and run. I mean, anyone that got it off VWAP, you're laughing right now, but you can't chase it.
Yeah, no. 127. You know, like we had, Brendan asked Mitch about this. It was at 104 or 105. 127 right now and pushing. Oh my goodness. And only done 379,000 shares, right? So, wow. Okay.
That's scary.
Yeah, here we go. Going to be an interesting day here on NewsMax. All right, let's go talk to another name here, Tesla, which probably won't be up 52% today.
Yeah, surprisingly higher here. A couple of different things to note. European deliveries, for the most part, downside once again. Spain was an outlier for some reason, higher in Spain. But the China story probably more prominent here. Back to ramping up production for the new Model Y over in China after a little bit of a down period as they were changing the production line once again. All that said, here we are kind of leaking back towards day lows once again for Tesla.
What's interesting, Brendan, is I was reading, even in Spain, sure, we're up here for the month of March. They rose by 34%, but Spain Tesla sales are still down about 12% for Q1 on a year-over-year basis. So 1 month very strong, the quarter still weak. Lots of weakness, though, in these other European countries. We had a drop of 36.8% in France, 63% in Sweden. Norway only dropped by about 1%. Though we also had Wells Fargo adding Tesla to its tactical underweight list for Q2. They really only see this sell-off that we had last quarter, which is quite significant, as continuing here.
Yeah, we'll see what happens today, guys. We're trying to hold here, though. 262 maybe for Tesla. It's still, I mean, higher.
Yeah, just before we get to that, Roblox with a bit of a move here, just kind of popped through some highs. What I was able to hear was simply launching video-based ads in a partnership with Google. When I hear that a little bit more clearly, we'll reiterate, but it was a launch of video ads, up about 3.5% today. Roblox, like a lot of other names, good V-shaped bounce off the open and then trended yesterday. Tesla, well, Tesla's up pretty decently. So it's like a tale of two cities for Tesla. One, gapped up, doing better than the market. Two, trending down, riding underneath VWAP. So when you're doing that, it doesn't really lend to, oh, I'm thinking breakouts on this. No, I think you got to look for, I'm looking for dip buys in the afternoon. It eventually held 256, which was the morning high. So that's the level I'm looking at. And then the 252 from yesterday, that was the over-under on Tesla. So you're above everything right now. You're attempting to support 260. I think that can get challenged early on, especially with that downward trend. It's just holding VWAP since I sat down in the pre-market. It's been trending down. So I think you let it get back in. If it breaks 56, I don't want to be long between 56 and 52. I think it's into that level. Take that one shot and then take another shot off that 52, 50 area. That was resistance before and now turning into support.
Yeah, so Roblox, they're rolling out those ads. Nice little move from 58 to $60. So $2 up right there. Someone else posted a pretty cool bull bear situation. I thought that was pretty neat right there. Okay, so thanks for doing that. Okay, just real quickly here. Yeah, we had the same thing, 257 there for Tesla. Just looking long, watching early pullbacks into this. Wouldn't be surprised at all if we get to 270 today. You know, the market needs to figure out what it's going to do, but I have it written down right there, 257 long. So, you know, it's starting to do nothing in the pre-market, which is good. I mean, I'm fine with it being like this. We are always going to focus on, I mean, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. And, you know, I do this every single morning, and I just show that despite where it opens doesn't mean you can't do something. Yesterday, 249, 243, $6, then this. You know, the day before, we've talked about, you know, some of the moves that we've seen here on these markets, right? So this was a 274 down to 270, then straight to 292. So I was just looking to see if we were to come down, where did we like it? And it's like, I wrote down 257 only because I think that we don't really want to, as Neil mentioned there, this 256 level. That's 257 right there. So for me, like that's a pretty good area to look to buy. So we'll be doing that on Tesla down here, especially if we can get it right off the open. You know, let's see if that does make a bottom, and then boom, back there to the upside. Tesla, strong name there. So yeah, up 1.5% into a market right now that's trying to go. This is the NASDAQ, so just bounced off the 50-period moving average, now taking out VWAP, looking to get higher. I mean, we have every single idea on here written is a long, and then we just got, not that this really matters, but there goes Roblox again. When we brought you the news, it was at $60. It's just bumping up here now again through 62 potentially for Roblox. And again, you know, another name that's held out pretty good. It didn't get to its 200 period, I believe is down here somewhere. So yeah, there it is. So it didn't get to its 200 period, still relatively strong. And now today, trying to break back above. Looks like Roblox, if we can clear the 64 area, might be a nice go-to there. And again, looking to monetize, right? So nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's not going to stop, you know, my kids from playing it. So there it goes, man. They already just watch YouTube, push skip, whatever. So there it goes, man. Nice move up there for Roblox, up 6%. Go Roblox, go.
That teaming up with Google to expand their ad-based business, including 30-second video ads. 1.7% here for IBIT. Nice gap to the upside this morning. Bitcoin obviously following suit. 48 was the high there pre-market. I mean, there's nothing major on Bitcoin this morning. I mean, Larry Fink saying could rival gold at some point.
Yeah, that was an interesting note yesterday for sure that came out about midday. MicroStrategy, though, actually still up on the day here about 1.5%, but it got a downgrade from Monness, Crespi, and Hart, as mentioned earlier. Basically, they're downgrading it to sell because they're arguing that apparently they think their strategy, which is mostly here to issue these convertible notes, they think the strategy is quote-unquote tapped. They think they're going to have to eventually rely more heavily on fixed income issuance. They think that's probably going to have to start this year. So MSTR and watch potentially, but still up on the day as well.
Until we get the next, by the way, there's another offering coming through. We'll see. MSTR, I mean, we were talking about that a little bit yesterday with more being added to their pockets over last week, guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know what you're getting with MSTR at this point, so nothing surprises me there. I think the new thing is you can throw GameStop into that as well, although it didn't really go too well for them after their earnings. IBIT 47.5 was Friday's bottom. 47.5 was not super clean resistance, but it's a good area to work off of today. Like I kind of felt like yesterday that was a fade zone. By the time it got there, there wasn't much that it was doing. It eventually worked out for you. I actually like Mara if we break down here at that 47.5, maybe even down to 47.4 here on IBIT. As long as you're holding, it'll be like 83,000 kind of the number that you're looking at. So prior support into resistance. But when I said I was looking at things in both directions, Mara is still underneath that 12. So if we lose the bid on IBIT at 47, it's like 47.4-ish. If you lose that bid, Mara is still flat bottom breaking. And this is what I want to be short. It's underneath 12 bucks. It got a little bit of a bounce off those lows from the early short just to get right back in, put a lower high that held the entire morning at 11.8. So this is still underneath. And until it breaks 12 even, I'm looking for shorts in front of 12. But it's weird because I kind of like the IBIT long on 47.45. And if that opens the open range, I'll probably long that. And Mara, it'll more be like a reversion short because I think we could spike early on in the session here. It wouldn't surprise me. They're kind of trending back into the upside. So I think you got to be patient with any shorts, but I'll probably start IBIT long.
Yeah, but Roblox just went 62.50. So yeah, I was thinking about, so still going up there 7%. Yeah. So nice move there for Roblox. Something similar to that. Yeah, Bitcoin looks like a long to me as well. So, I mean, that's what IBIT's going to look like. So this is a 15-minute chart. Again, a nice move up. There's the 50-period moving average. Broke above 83.6, trying to hold it right now. Those are some levels. Goes back to the 30th couple days where we held into the 29th there. So it's a nice hold. I mean, we could zoom back out. There's the dip in. Holding for some reason 83.7, 83.7, 83.7, 83.7. This area 83.7, 83.6, and right now looking like there's that pop, and then here's the drop back in. So yeah, it looks like it wants to hold it, and then even if you don't get through that, even if you do get through that, I don't know if it gets through here. It just looks pretty strong to try to hold this 81 to 83 area right now without a real catalyst right now to go down. So I don't see, I feel that most traders will be waiting for tomorrow for a big move. The NASDAQ's not really doing anything right here today. The ES really isn't doing too much either. They're both down 1/4 point. Very, very comfortable areas for both of these names, for both of these sectors. Banking's pretty strong. Yesterday we had JP Morgan make that move all the way back, which was a huge move back up there to 245, from a 237 low yesterday. So they really climbed back. So financials working. Some of the other names yesterday, Wells Fargo had a big day yesterday as well. So you know what I wanted to check out was, it's not on our list. Well, J&J's next, so it's not in the same vein as this, but I wanted to see what Moderna was doing because yesterday had that huge move off the open and then regained most of it throughout the day, including that huge spike right there, right off the open, then the drip down into, I mean, can't believe we're saying Moderna's $27, but then it just kind of had a nice, afternoon where, I don't know, again, market on close orders come in, and obviously that sort of must have hit that name. But, what about a hold? And I know that's not doing much here, and maybe there's no volume, but Moderna down here at 28 could be something. So, you always want to look for second day moves. The ultimate bottom, I would say 27. If you can get into there today, that would be a buy for me. So again, the news was yesterday, FDA head leaving, thinking that there's going to be a change in the way the FDA either approves or looks at vaccines and this type of science. So that hurt Moderna like crazy, down huge yesterday. SSR today. So, going to be harder for it to fall. So we'll see if we can get a 28 bid is where it's at now. So. 27 is a great, great, great level for Moderna.
If you don't break the lows, only one place to go.
Yeah, not lower.
J&J here, back to the bottom end of the range, or back to the last swing low, essentially, for Johnson & Johnson. If you go to a daily chart, a little bit better perspective. It looks a little bit worse maybe than it is today. 3%, this thing's had a pretty good run. If you go back to the beginning of 2025, a bankruptcy court throwing out this talc claim. So, yeah, it's 3%, but I think could be worse here.
It's interesting, too. There's a pretty scathing comments here made in their press release on Benzinga. They basically said that instead of pursuing a, quote, protracted appeal, they will return to the tort system to, quote, litigate and defeat these meritless talc claims. Apparently, they've won 16 out of 17 talc-related cases. So they think they're going to be able to beat this once again, calling it a plaintiff lawyer-driven fake tort.
Yeah,
so quite the remarks.
Yeah, and I mean, still, they're saying $7 billion in the coffers here to work with on these claims. So, I mean, it's 3%, guys, but not a lot of volume behind this.
Not really, but you have a couple of places to look here on J&J. I mean, it's like 159 is the 50 period, 156 half is the 200 period moving average if it continues its decline. It's a stable enough stock when you look at the daily chart. Like, it doesn't move crazy amounts. So it's the kind of name that it catches a bid if it has a bad day. Like, it's just gonna, it's not really gonna bleed forever. It's not that kind of a name. But unfortunately, yeah, it's already bounced like $2 in here. Not a ton of volume, but when I look at that daily, if I'm interested, it'd be down there 159, 156. Like, I feel like if you're trading in this space, you want to trade Moderna because Moderna is going to move a little more, as Sean said. But you know, if we do drop all the way down to 156 half, that's a different story. You get J&J gets down there to the 200 period and tests that on a day. I think you get a bounce off that level, and that would be tradable. Just unlikely to happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I like, just talk about J&J. I think there's been people, you could be hiding out in this name. It's been pretty consistent. You get that dividend. And as Adair and Brendan just mentioned there, they win these cases. So they'll try again. Nice move off the bottom. I don't really know what sparked it from the beginning of the year, but maybe a rotation into more defensive names, a global name here. And we know that the rest of Europe and the rest of the world is really accelerating right now. And it's just a U.S. kind of related problem. I mean, obviously the U.S. over time has outpaced Europe, but this year it's a complete opposite if you look at the VGK, the Vanguard European All World Index. So I was just going to say that this is a company that's not just performing well potentially here in the United States, but also worldwide. I mean, such a big brand. So yeah, J&J continues to work. I would say anything to dip by anything into the 200 period, pretty good. But 200 period hasn't really meant that much for J&J. So I don't know, not too interested in it at these levels in the middle. I think you either sell the top or you wait again for a move down in, and you just sit in this name. I don't think you're at too much risk here one way or the other. So yeah, J&J, a good name, a better trade name, as we had mentioned there, probably a Moderna or even an ETF. So yeah, J&J right now, not too bad. I'd say pick it up on weakness if you do think that this case is going to get passed on to the wayside here. NVIDIA trying to move right now, NASDAQ trying to get green. Let me just for fun, let me check what NMAX is at. I haven't looked in a minute. Okay, 117. So actually, we were actually looking at this when it was at its highs. This is when we were sort of talking about it there, that there's the move back in. So we said the shorts at some point are going to come, and then there it is, right? There's that wick high again, followed by this is exactly how we'd sort of explained it. It's actually wick high right there again. So this could be another short using this as your stop, 118. I let some volume come into this one at open before trading it, but you have a $2 spread right now, and there's no halt mechanics in the after hours or post market, pre market, right? So just hearing that Roblox again, we brought this to you at $60 and change, $62.50 right now. There goes Roblox. We had it on the screen. Deal with Google, or they're going to be using video ads now, partnering with Google, 30-second ads on the platform. There goes Roblox, up 7% again. Big moves there for RBLX, up 7%. Definitely something to look at today.
All right, Kathy Wood buying the dip big time in a couple of instances here. We'll talk about CoreWeave. First off, 3.25%. Nice move back above 38 right now. 38 a key level. If you go back to day one, she picked up 3.6 million, I guess, just dipping her toe. In CRWV, bought some Hood. A few other names in this list as well yesterday. So it's. I was talking to Sharif about this a little bit yesterday. It's that time, or it feels like that time anyways, where you're going to start seeing these types of notes where people are buying this and testing the waters here and picking up a little of that. So Cathie Wood kicking it off maybe yesterday.
Cathie Wood's always a little bit different though because she tends to buy whenever she feels like, so she's a little bit of an exception. That being said, as mentioned here, Robinhood, apparently this transaction valued at roughly $1.32 million, buying just under 32,000 shares. Another one that was of interest here, GTLB being purchased, apparently 178,000 through one ETF, almost 300,000 through another ETF. Unity getting sold a little bit here, and Tempest AI, some shares being purchased for $2.4 million, roughly 50,000. So tons of tickers on watch today with the Cathie Wood trade, TEM, HOOD, and CoreWeave, probably the most interesting though.
Yeah, nice bounce so far here for CRWV, guys.
Look, CoreWeave, I didn't even pay for locates today. And if it breaks 39, I like the 40 level because that was the issue price, and that's what I wanted to short yesterday. The way it's going now, though, maybe I do go ahead and pay for that. And then if it gets to that 40 level, I'm missing the open. You can't even see the open. Anyways, it opened at like 39, has struggled at 40 initially before eventually breaking out and then closing on the first day at 40. So if you get into 40, that's the level I've been looking to short. The name on that list that's also interesting is Robinhood. I mean, like a lot of things did that big recovery day. Robinhood has, like, it's holding the same support that you had before. If it wasn't for Micron and the crypto names, I'd probably be looking at Robinhood for a bit of a breakout or a dip into 41. But as I said, I like Micron today because the structure of the trade starts with what I love and that foundation at the 84 level. So, being long Micron to me, I just prefer that. I want to be long into that 86. I want to be long into 84. And as long as it's holding those levels, I want to be buying dips. I want to be buying VWAP on Micron instead. I'm waiting for 86 initially, but at this point, maybe we don't get that dip buys and balances also just hit.
Yeah, I was going to say a name for me is Palantir. That could be another Cathie Wood buy that's always on her mind for sure. Palantir down here to $83. Again, just looking at some names that were at afternoon lows. We looked at it. We're going to look at NVIDIA down here. NVIDIA is going to be my #1 play on the sticky note today. And that was buying 107, this dip right into there. Yesterday, we absolutely crushed AMD. It turned out to not even have been traded to just my #1 stock by far there when we were all said and done yesterday, and that was buying right here off of this level three times. Like we bought, and then we didn't even have any on when it came back in there. There was the move there at 2 o'clock. We had a little bit on, and then we took it back upside again. So closing near the highs, a little choppy there. I don't know what was up with all those dark pools, but at the end of the day, AMD looks like it wants to work again today, and so does NVIDIA. So the #1 play here on the note is going to be 107 longs for NVIDIA. Again, could come in, could not. I think it does, though. Just be patient with it. If it doesn't, we'll find something else, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. That's what we do here. Even the futures right now are going to be a play for me today. Just a matter of letting it settle down. We've done really well on those lately as well. For anybody that's following Cathie Wood, I mean, Cathie is buying. I mean, Cathie was buying, I would say. Buys all the way down in, right? I mean, taking advantage of CoreWeave and some of the knowledge that they have. All of you guys can sort of build your own arc if you wanted to. I think it's not that hard to do that. But if you are going to be following Cathie Wood, she did have a great year so far. I mean, coming in from January, it's about flat once this settles down. You could see sort of the epic fall here for Cathie's arc. But at the end of the day, not doing too bad. We talked about where we are on the year. There's January, so we were just into here. So we're going to be down on the year from 54 or so to 47. But at the end of the day, these are companies that rarely have PEs. They're forward-looking. You know what you're getting involved with Cathie Wood and some of those names on there. CoreWeave, Robinhood, it's a good basket. You got to believe in those names. And right now, I think stronger balance sheets and cash and all that kind of stuff is what's ruling the day. I mean, I always just go back to, thankfully, we were able to get some money into Berkshire 6-8 months ago, and that's at highs, and that's a big cash position and in the financials, right? So a completely different tone than what's going on with ARC. But again, place for it in everybody's portfolio. I mean, I would say, you want to take shots in the dark, and instead of building your own arc, you know what's involved with hers. You can go Google that all the way. You mentioned imbalances. Was there anything?
Nothing stood out on the imbalance.
No, 500,000.
Nothing stands.
Yeah, we have them up here if you want to show them, Fabian.
IonQ.
Yeah, IonQ, that's it. There's nothing else, really. So IonQ right there on New York. Is it getting a bump up? Yes, it is. Wow, IonQ this morning. Wow. Huge move there. Okay, that's definitely worth a look there as well. RGTI, anything going on over here? $8 looks like they're trying to go as well. Nice move, 8 to 8.15, so not too much there on RGTI. But we're getting ready to rock and roll. NMAX as well.
125.
127, yeah, exactly.
Oh, check the...
Oh, same, yeah. Whatever price you say, Neil, is not going to be wrong because we have a good chance of getting there. Now it's 130, by the way, so here we go. 10 seconds left. 132.
I'm looking at it like I'm going to trade it. No, not going to happen. But ring that Belladera in 3, 2, and 1.
All righty, we are now open. And get ready for a halt. Newsmax was just at 132. Now it's at 125 and looking to see what's going on. Looks like they're trying to build a short there. It's not even open yet, sorry, my bad. But 125 was just holding right there. So, all right, well, we'll watch out for that. Not open yet, Newsmax, a New York name, right? So here we go. There's the dip buy opportunity for you in Tesla. Look at the futures. Whoops, all the way down there to the downside. It looks like Tesla trying to hold pre-market low of 261. It's too early, Tesla. You're not going to catch me in there yet for that one. All right, man, we did like Apple. Where am I bidding on Apple? 219.25. How low did we get there, man? 219.27. That's a shame. We'll have to buy some Apple here.
Oh, it's a bit of a dip happening in Micron, but not necessarily enough yet. But Mara did the dipsy-do. Right at the open, it just dropped a couple of points. So again, Mara just turning red and heading to the downside. This stays weak underneath that $12 level. But we're looking dip buys first. As you mentioned, Tesla, which I'll have to wait for that to settle down. Tesla did a small dip, and it's already back through 265. So Tesla, I don't want to say going ham, but certainly that reversal was quick, and it was violent off of the open. Priority for me is going to be Micron on first available dip. It looks like it tried to take out pre-market lows. We'll zoom in so you can see it better. Tried to take out pre-market lows, barely wicked underneath. I didn't want to break out on this today. I thought we'd be heading down. The market is, like the ES is heading to the downside.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm hesitant to want to jump into this off of VWAP, but I'm not going to wait forever on MU.
Yeah, we don't want to be too, caught up here with some of these moves. So here we go, man. We said that everything was a little too early, but Apple is the one that actually fell in. The only problem here is Apple's actually going Oppo right now because it's down 1.3%.
Oppo Taco?
Yeah, Oppo Taco time. It's down 1 1/3 while the market's only down 1/3. So right now, a little more aggressive to the downside here is Apple. So let's rest on this. We wrote down 218 and change for AAPL. So if it continues to fall in, then we'll have to wait for it. 218. Let's see if it wants to hold, man. I mean, maybe that bottom is 218.40s, something like that. We'll give it a shot if it does come back in. So Apple right here, going to buy this dip closer to 218.50 if we're able to do that. So that's what's coming in right now for me is Apple. And then the other look, Tesla. Wow. Can't believe we were just looking at that and we were like, oh, it's right into the 200 period again. All right, well, let's just hope that Apple can go.
Well, I can tell you Bitcoin did make a test of the low, broke very, very briefly, and now right back above. So there's the low, there's pre-market lows, it broke. That's that resistance area from yesterday, a little bit of a tester, and then it came right back above it. So I'm going to go long here in the 50s and try and hold it to the local bottom in here on IBIT. The other thing we're looking at is going to be Micron. Micron's starting to head back down. So with that VWAP right now, I think we have a chance that this could get down here and give us a fill. Let me just cancel. I don't need those 86s.
Newsmax went to 150. So it's
the 4 a.m. high was $150 on Newsmax.
Yeah, it went to 147.50 there. So almost got there right now. For Newsmax falling back
150.
Into wow. Okay, here we go, man. All right.
You gotta be kidding me.
This could be a day goal met right here as Apple trying to break through 220 right now. So here we go, man. First trade of the day for me is Apple, and it's exactly what we waited for on our note. So let's see if this one wants wants to continue to get up there just a little bit higher, you know, would be nice. We're waiting at 220, so hopefully we can get that. And then after that, then we'll go to 220.25, so on and so forth. We just missed it. We got some out here too. We got some out in the 70s. We did good there all the way up. But we are waiting for that 220. We were sitting. Thank you, Fabian. We were sitting at 219.95. So it almost got there. We'll wait to see if we can get it one more time. So apparently NVIDIA going to the downside.
NVIDIA is starting to fall pretty big here. But like I said, I'm looking at well, I am looking at MAR, but I'm looking at Micron. As NVIDIA just broke bottoms at 108. So Micron testing the pre-market lows, 87.3. I'm just going to zoom it out enough so you can see the prior high. I want to be into this long, but I want to see some buyers start to come in. With NVIDIA falling, you know the chips are more apt to follow suit because NVIDIA is always a little bit of a leader. You know what, I'm going to nibble in here at 87.5 and get in for the first time there on MLGO. What happened on MLGO?
MLGO just halted. We just got long at 28 there, not really paying too much attention. Up? No, halted down. So MLGO, not a good move here. We're in it. We're just in it because it's at our level of 28 that we sort of thought about. So let's wait to see where this name opens up today, or off this move. We're in it right now. But oh boy, Neil, there it is, man. It doesn't take long to get into that club right there. So there it is, man. It's $1 right now for us on Apple. And there's the fill that we are waiting for. So let's go, man. There it goes, Apple. What a banger right there, AAPL. So props it up to all of you guys. Neil, I know the big play that you were talking about all morning, Micron. So I hope that works out. But our big play here was Apple. So there it goes, nicely cooking there to that upside. Not really a Tim Cook reference, but it is making that move there to the upside. So, hey, man, we're in it, and maybe not to win it here as MLGO. We're going to have to be patient and wait to see where this one opens up right now, because never a good opportunity, never a good feeling.
Oh, the market's dumping.
Yeah, it's my bad to be in this one, by the way, because, you know, we should have not just kept our bid there. It's a small position for me on ML. What's up? Is that Ramin?
Yeah, just come back.
MLGO.
Well, we'll stay here for a quick second because we took the long back above pre-market lows, but you took out that prior bottom wick, so I'll be out of IBIT. Micron we're going to hold on to. Micron we like. It'll give a little bit of a wider berth. It's a level that we like more. It's a stock that we like a little bit more today, pulling back into prior day highs. I want to see it hold yesterday's bottom, and then we're going to add to this once we confirm that we're holding these lows over there on Micron. Anyone looking at that NewsMax, obviously it's going to be moving around a bit. Any halts are going to be like 5 minutes, but we're adding to Micron on a hold of this prior day low on MU. And just be careful. Those chips catching a little bit of a bid here, but a lot of things broke those bottoms. Tesla broke back down to 260. That's a name we liked in front of 256. It's not there yet. I'm trying to be patient with Tesla. I wanted a little bit lower. When Tesla goes down at the open, usually you can get a little bit of a better price. I'm trying to be patient with Tesla. Micron we're in, but I want more.
All right, bang. There it is, man. We're going to go 2 for 2 here. Big time 2 for 2 as well on the sticky note, man. NVIDIA was a big trade. It just fell right into 107 for us, so giddy up on that one as we continue just to celebrate that play. And then, oh boy, guys, look at Apple. I mean, again, like, it's getting to the point where I keep saying it, and I just hope that some of you are over here, because this is exactly, we talk about why we're here. There's NVIDIA long 107, so that's in the money huge right now. Well, we took it out, but it's still there. You can take it right now. And then the Apple long at 219 was a monster. And to me, that's the big one right now, as Apple keeps on going to the upside. We'll take some out here at the pre-market highs again, and then we'll see if we can hold on, because maybe it is going to be that day. All right, man, there's NVIDIA. So right back in again. We could try to reload what we had on board right now. I know you're in Micron, so we're in these chip names here, and we're going to wait to see where we go from here, but it's not looking too nice. We're going to get out at, we already have this stop here on NVIDIA, 106.75. So if we continue to go lower here, we will punch out of NVDA. I don't know what your plan is on Micron or even how that's going, because I know they can sometimes trade.
Well, Micron's about 10 cents out of the money,
okay,
so
that's not bad.
Like, it's not going crazy, but Tesla is in the pocket. Oh, it just broke 260 and came back. I thought we were going to get that push down. We broke 260. We're looking at 256 that we want to be able to grab out in front of. It looks like it's going to be bouncing now. Unfortunately, I am into Amazon for the first time as well. Remember Amazon 190 to 191. We like that one short. Well, it just pressed into the pre-market highs. So started here at 189.25. But I think a press through 190 is possible. I want to catch it on the way back in. So it's still just Micron. I might have missed a chance in Tesla. Didn't want too many names, but Tesla was one of them off of that 256 level. Right, it's still heading downside. Let's just be patient with Tesla. If it wicks 260, I don't want to jump in too early. But this is one that we wanted to be able to grab for sure on Tesla. Let's see if we're able to get it. What happened to Micron? Micron did not. Yeah, sometimes you put the stop order in the wrong spot, but I'll just punch in and out at the same price. So I was in at an average price of 87.38, but my stop, it didn't break 87. So I'm just going to jump right back in. If we lose the high, I want to be out and wait for 86. But we didn't actually lose the prior day high there just yet. So Tesla looking like it's got a bottoming tail at that 260. I don't know if the case can be made to go into that long just yet. All right, try to preach patience, but that's looking like a very good setup here for Tesla, holding that high. If it closes above 260, maybe I take one little shot and then wait for the bigger trade a little bit later.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going. Newsmax
halted 135.
Halted, yeah. We're going to get out some more here because we
just only buy that stock.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, shoot, this is going to halt again here for us on MLGO. We got out of half of this. We didn't have a very big play, but we are getting out here. It's going to halt again. Hopefully we can get filled. We may not on there it is. Okay. So it actually kind of false halted there at the end, and we wind up clearing it out. So we'll lose on that one. It wasn't bad, though, honestly. Like, it's bad because we lost on it as we were just trying to trade that name. But 99 problems, man. Profit today ain't one of it for me here because we've got NVIDIA, which is an absolute monster, exactly as we had thought, man. We even reloaded it back down there. So, again, I'm glad that we had Mitch on there because we talked about being confident. And the number one thing to have is going to be confidence because whether or not your play works or not, like we'll take an L there on MLGO, but, you know, we're up 3 times that on Apple right now, right? So know the risk that you're putting involved with certain plays, right? We do have risk on NVIDIA. Unfortunately, it's not really moving the way I'd hoped it would early. So let's wait on it. We'll capture that profit. Now okay, there it is. So even despite that, there it is, 1 day goal met right there. So I saw eerie pages. I saw some people yesterday talk about they wish they could have the lifestyle of just making a trade, then going on, doing other work or doing whatever. There it is, right off the open. So just there to show you, just off these 2 plays, our 2 number 1 ideas, plus a losing idea. So going 2 for 3 there. Day's goal, proper share size, but you got to get out, right? So we're going to stay on it, just identifying where the play is right there. So, all right, that's what that is. Hopefully it continues to work. I don't know if we can get higher from here or not, but Newsmax also right there. Yeah, that just halted. So that one going upside. Let me just check out MLGO. Oh, yeah, that halted again as well. So we are out of that one. All right, there goes NVIDIA. There goes Apple. And was that for Adara? I think so, right?
We'll go to Adara in a quick little second. We had a little stall at VWAP here on Micron, so I'm going to get some out in front of VWAP and buy the next available dip. Newsmax, we don't have a theoretical auction price on it for Newsmax. All I see is the price that it halted at, 135.5. So trying to get this, you know what, let me just move to 78 and cancel 80s, move to 78, and then it prints 80. So take a little bit more out on MU as we are now going to Adara.
Keep an eye here in QSG, Quantasing. Small cap runner on watch, about 30 million share float. QSG near day's highs and near that $5 level, so that's one to watch out for. So I want to let you guys know in a couple of minutes, we're going to be getting our first economic print of the day. 9:45, we're going to be getting the S&P manufacturing PMI. 10 a.m., we'll get some more numbers as well, including JOLTS job openings and ISM PMI. Back to you.
Thank you, Adair. It's going to be those are 2 big numbers coming through, 1 in 3 minutes, and then obviously at 10 o'clock as well. So I did get that early stop out on IBIT, but it's actually holding the low. So a wick bottom on the 3. You need to close this candle holding the pre-market low. I want to see this put in a higher low, man. Like, show me that you can put in a higher low, and then we can jump on over and try to get more, or get back into, I shouldn't say more, I should say get back into IBIT. Micron holds out at prior day highs, but only goes to VWAP. So I'm just going to rinse and repeat. It dips down again. I want to be long out in front of that 87 level if we can get it. And speaking of dips, looks like we're dipping in Tesla after just failing VWAP just now. So this could be the chance where we actually get Tesla on the bid. Wanted it into that afternoon bottom. So far, haven't had a shot at it yet, I think Tesla can still come in for us there. That's the long that we did not grab, unfortunately, on TSLA. Either it holds VWAP or it gives us that fill down around underneath 260. I don't want to put a pin on it because you never know where the bottom tail candle is going to come in.
All right, so yeah, we are now $3 in the money on the longs right now. I see the only short that we have is Amazon, so we'll have to wait to see what happens there. But for now, man, there goes Apple. Like, what a move. Honestly, I don't know. I keep getting out, but I'm also saying, like, let's hold on to these. So I'm going to take some more out as we continue to go upside, right? And there's the dollar right there on NVIDIA. So a nice move there for NVDA back up through 108. So we'll just take advantage of that and continue to watch some of these names. But there goes Amazon, NVIDIA and Apple right there to the upside. MLGO, are we open yet? No, we are not, but we're going to open soon. So we took that at 28. Out off open at 27.30. We should have got them all out. We got out of half, and then we lost the next bit half downside right there. So, you know, a hit is a hit, but at the end of the day, we'll make more on both NVIDIA and on Apple. So we'll go 2 for 3, hit the goal, and now wait to see what happens next. So, yeah, we're still both in these same 2 plays. So I'm glad that you guys are with us as we get ready for numbers, which are right now. You know,
right now we should have jolts.
Yeah, I mean, we could go to a dare at any time. So let's go.
Sorry about that, guys. We do have S&P manufacturing PMI 50.2, slightly higher than 49.9 expected and 49.8 previous. Market not reacting too much to this print. Again, slightly higher than expected for the S&P manufacturing PMI. That came in there at 50.2 versus 49.9 expected. Now we're trying to push a little bit to the upside. Again, the bigger numbers today are going to come at 10 a.m. JOLTS job opening, some construction spending data, and ISM manufacturing PMI, the more closely watched of the two. Back to you.
Yeah, it looks like we got a wick on that number to the downside on Micron, but to the upside on Amazon. So slap to fail on Amazon. We just broke that 190 half. The pre-market, essentially I'm working off this high and not the crazy wick. The afternoon high at 190 and a half, but that just broke out to the upside. But what's coming down is Micron. So we're failing VWAP on Micron. It bounced 87 to 88. My best fill was at 87.5 or 87.8. Looking to jump back in the bid at 87. The other name we're trying to get back into the long, there's Amazon breaking out the high. So I'm not jumping back into that short unless it curls, trend break, something that shows me we can get on the other end of that trade. IBIT, not much movement on IBIT. A little bit of a sleeper over there in Bitcoin. And Tesla. Tesla's the one that we're looking for that long. It's starting to give up that ghost. Suddenly it looks a lot like yesterday on Tesla. Bottoming tail at the bottom, break the low, and then make that higher low at some point. Yesterday gave you the double bottom. Today, I'm hoping it does the same because I want this under VWAP. I don't want to be buying this $5 from the low on TSLA, especially when the market's not doing much of anything here. So Micron, we'll get the reload. It's a good thing we took some out because it's like only 25 cents in the money. It was just $1. So I think we get a chance at a reload there and hopefully a first fill in Tesla off of prior day highs.
Okay, yeah, good look over there, and good job getting out. I mean, that Amazon, it's so early in the day. Like we say, man, it's not worth sitting too much into some of these trades. I'm thinking about the same thing here with many of these names. There goes NVIDIA. Now that's $1.30. Apple's almost $3 sorry now in the money as we go. So I'm just going to sit here and let these continue to just climb. There's absolutely no reason at this point to get out of anything. I mean, this is just a ripping market here today. Nice move, right into the low, then right into the high again. So there we go, man. Apple just, wow, what a move. We had one of the bigger months in March, and now starting in April here, it's kind of, you know, the same type of thing, sticking with, okay, now we're $3. Now we're $3 as we go. And again, like this is the list right there, 219, right, on Apple. We almost actually, it's too bad because we were waiting for a little bit more down there. It didn't break too much below. And again, we talked about where our stop is, right? It's at 218.40s. So we are going to risk here on this trade about 80 cents or so. So it's a nice move up now, going $3. And then, so we have $3 plus $1.60 in NVIDIA. Look, I mean, this name, wow, is just ripping. So, so far, so good here again today. Like, I hope everybody's having a big day. We had a good one there yesterday. We'll have a good one here today, hopefully anyways, as we continue to go very, very early. 1.5 times daily goal right now met on the day. So a daily goal, obviously. So there's MLGO, halted one more time, downside. So good thing we got out. It's crazy. We'd be at 2x day, but we did trade this. You got to be responsible for what we do. NMAX as well. Right now 121. So maybe it's had its day in the sun one more time, but I don't know either. So there it goes, man. NMAX. So
NMAX hasn't broken the day's range. It's gone up, down, and around. Local break on IBIT, so it just broke VWAP in here. So we're taking our second shot at IBIT. Still want to give it to the same area. So we're waiting for it to hold prior day highs. It's starting to do so now. I did not get the reload on Micron yet, but I feel as if, like, this one's not out of the woods. It's still at VWAP, so we're going to go dipping into prior day highs. Like I said, it's only really gone a buck, and we'd like to see it do more than that, but I want to pick some up. As long as it's making a lower high, I think you have still have a chance to catch that bid down around that 87 level. That looks like the way to go. CoreWeave is also making a move along with NVIDIA. It's very close to that $40 level. Remember, issue price $40, close on the first day $40. All roads lead to $40. I said I wasn't going to pay for locates unless it broke 39. Well, it just broke 39. So I'm going to go ahead and price those and see if we get a push to 40 and I see any kind of a reason to short it, I'm going to go ahead and do so. Tesla is now distinctly holding VWAP. So I'm just going to get my order on Micron and move on over to the Tesla long, because this is one that we got to get into. Like, put up or shut up, Tesla. It keeps showing that it wants to come down and give us the bid. It's just not really following through underneath VWAP. The second it does, got to be ready to kind of jump in there like a ninja and try to catch that bid off the bottom. Let's go to Adara.
Keep an eye here on X, that is U.S. Steel, not the social media company. We have some comments here coming through on X, according to Semaphore. A top Nippon Steel executive is going to be meeting with Howard Lutnick in Washington. Howard Lutnick is, of course, the Commerce Secretary. Apparently, Nippon is looking for the administration's blessing for a proposal to acquire U.S. Steel. Nippon still wants U.S. Steel. Apparently, an executive is meeting in Washington with the Commerce Secretary, as reported by Semaphore. Back to you.
Thanks, Adair. We'll definitely check that one out. I'm starting to get more and more. Yeah, we'll check out U.S. Steel. I mean, letter X there as we continue to go.
X going to give it to you.
Yeah, X is going to give it to you right there. Apple's giving it to us over and over and over again. Now almost $4. I don't know, is there something that's behind this move? Because, you know, all we wrote.
Did Quo say something?
I don't know, man, maybe. But all we had written down here on the note today was really just Apple 218 to 219 long, solid strength yesterday, looking to buy off the bottom, mixed day ahead, stay with the trend. Like, I wasn't certain on what kind of day we were going to have. So we were just looking at Apple from yesterday. Also, NVIDIA long, that's $1.40 in the money too. So it's both of those. And then not to talk about one and not the other, there's our MLGO. That was a little silly of me. I did put that bid there on the pre-market and then didn't go back to it. So, like, really, so when it came in, you guys saw, it actually came into me when it was halted. So or halted basically on me there at 28. So we didn't even have really a puncher's chance at even getting out of that. So as soon as it opened, we got out of half. So we lost about $1 on half, and then we lost $3 or so, maybe $2.80 or something, on that next half. So that one on MLGO was not nice. But I want to thank everybody for watching right now. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, because, you know, it's a big day. Like, despite, like I keep saying though, despite having those trades, and we got to talk about them because I have them on board. This is a monster day, and we want to thank Apple for that one. And then I know Neil's been in Amazon, IBIT, and Micron. So a bunch of different names.
There's a small cap halting now. Just very quickly, RSLS just halted, breaking $1. So you know those stocks, $1, bit of a litmus for it. Pre-market high at 110. This is very likely, it was obviously going to be a volatility halt, so 5 minutes it'll open back up. But always watch for these holding that dollar level. I usually like to play off the dollar itself. But first things first, we're going to Adara, and I'm going to get the bid on Micron, it looks like. Only about 20 cents away. It's finally starting to come back down off VWAP. We just are not getting picked up. It's good that it's not dropping, but I don't want to buy higher lows yet. Adara? Yes?
About 6 or 7 minutes here till we get that ISM and JOLTS data. But ahead of that, I looked into Apple here. The only news I really saw, and again, this came out very much pre-market, around 7 a.m. or earlier. They did have their new iOS 18.4 go live here. There's some new emojis. There's a food section of their news. Apparently, there's also priority AI notifications. But again, this came out well before the market opened, and there wasn't much pre-market here on that push to the upside for Apple. As you could see, it really happened off the open. So unclear as to what's motivating this, but some context on AAPL. Back to you.
Okay, thank you for the context there, Adara. That's what we're always looking for. I'm going to make sure you get that news and get it good. One more name for you here. We talked about the airlines a little bit off the open. Suffice to say, I mean, this is UAL at the open. There actually wasn't a chance, reasonably speaking, on volume to get anything short. It still even has almost a 10-cent spread at times. So UAL did drop and is continuing to drop, but there just hasn't been much of anything. I'll be looking at VWAP in here for a retracement on UAL. That was another. We talked about the airlines being weak. It was Jefferies that downgraded the whole. I mean, they just downgraded them all. They downgraded the entirety of the group. So looking for that dip. We're still going to try and get more MU. Tesla's starting to pull back in here and looking like it's under VWAP. Looks like we're going to get a retest of those lows, but UAL would be the other place that I wanted to short. Amazon did break out, but I'm also reminded that Intel was a really good short off of 22. There we go. Off of 22.75 prior day highs. So this is making lower highs as a chip name, relatively weak. They're all looking pretty bad. I feel like this is one I'll jump on over to if the market starts breaking out those lows. But first things first, we're finally going to get that refill in Micron any second now. We're going to head to these lows. I think everything's starting to come back in here a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And
Well,
that's,
the chips anyway.
Yeah, we have the same. Yeah, that's why I was looking at NVIDIA as well. I mean, as you were talking there, we have numerous outs right here at VWAP at 108 and change here for NVDA. The big one here today for sure is that NVDA. So yeah, let's just continue with it. So there's NVIDIA, man. We're still $4 in the money over here, and there's some more topping tails. So we're going to continue to get out. I know Joe calls it some sort of a stamp. What do you call? Oh, he's listening to music there. He said, timestamp or something? No, I don't know. Anyways, right there, nice little topping tail there. So we actually got some out at 222.75. So yeah, good job there coming back in for Apple and for NVIDIA right now. And I know you have Micron and IBIT. So we have a couple longs there today. The other name that I was looking at, of course, you guys want to talk about Tesla, and we've already looked at that. Neil's been just sort of talking about it, NMAX. The only play on Tesla I was looking for was 257 long. NewsMax not doing too much today, actually. It's funny to say that at up 50%, but it's just been 120 to 140 a couple times right there. I'm not going to play that range, and I don't suggest you do really either, but again, up to you. I wrote down Tesla. I haven't even looked at Tesla today, 257. So I heard Neil mention 259. Yeah, it didn't come back in to any of the levels that was going to get me overly excited right now. So that would be something to have a quick look at. Disney below 100. You know, I was looking at this. We didn't buy it or anything like that, but I was looking at it at $100. Doesn't look like it wants to hold that on the daily as well. Disney making that move in, and it looks like, you know, some of these bottoms coming through 88 to 90 there for DIS. The other name, there was one other one I wanted to look at. Oh, we were looking at Robinhood earlier today. Just trying to find names that may be moving around. If there's any other names that you guys want us to look at. So Robinhood, again, not much. We do have bank earnings are generally the first, not generally, they are the first like major sector to come out and report all at once. So we'll wait to see when JP Morgan and everybody is coming out. Let me just double check the date for everybody. I think it's in 2 weeks. JP Morgan. Right there, we'll go to confirmed in 10 days, right? So Friday the 11th. So we still have all of this week, obviously, and then next week, and then we'll start bank earnings with JP Morgan. So potentially some strength there as well. Coinbase, yeah, you're in IBIT. So.
Strength in SoFi actually.
Today? Okay.
I'll get to SoFi in a second, but Mara is starting to work to the downside. I said this would be awkward because here's IBIT and here's Mara. And I prefer IBIT long and Mara short. Like, IBIT's trying to bounce off the lows. Mara's trying to fade with some lower highs. So it's going to be a tricky one. But as long as you're making the lower highs on Mara, It was a good short yesterday. I don't see any reason why it can't be today. The first entry for me is going to be here at VWAP, and then I'll give it to just this prior bar high at 1153. So yeah, it's weird to be in one way and one the other, but as long as you're holding that bid on iBit, which for now it's holding the lows, I'll stay in the trade. If it can't hold the lows, then it's an easy out. But I'm shorting more on these pops. I'll give it that one shot in here to about 1150. It's about 1155. I'm waiting slightly above VWAP because as you can see on these candles, VWAP hasn't mattered. The topping tails are all 2 and just above 1150. So that's what's going to matter here on Mara. Just back for everyone that's looking at that NewsMax. It's still within the exact same range up at the top. It's halted 2 times, I believe, once to the upside, 1 to the downside, and pressing the highs right now. You might have heard me say this right before the open. The overnight, like the 4 a.m. high was 150, so resistance at the 150. I think that was the overnight top. At least that's what, it was Obi that mentioned it to me. So 150, you want to respect that. But at any moment, this breaks up or down. It's probably going to halt on a break of either one of those 2 directions. We're about to get that number at 10 o'clock. Let's go to Adair.
We're waiting here on JOLTS job openings. Forecast 7.655 million. Previous 7.740 million. We're expecting a little bit of a decrease there. ISM manufacturing PMI also expected to drop a little bit from its previous print. Forecast of 49.5, previous 50.3. Construction spending month over month, 0.3% versus negative 0.2%. JOLTS job openings coming in lower than expected, 7.568 million versus the forecast of 7.655 million. ISM manufacturing PMI below estimates, 49 versus 49.5 expected. ISM manufacturing prices paid a little bit above expectations. ISM manufacturing employment and new orders below estimates. But construction spending actually here, bit of an uptick. 0.7% versus the forecast of 0.3%. Here is the market kind of teetering with trying to make a lower low here for the NASDAQ. Of course, on watch tomorrow will be the tariff announcement, Liberation Day. In terms of today, there's not really any other major economic data to be aware of. NewsMax, though, on watch. This name had an IPO price of $10, opened at 14, currently trading around 140, continued day 2 strength. Then we have Johnson & Johnson, J&J, near day's lows, quite the opposite of NewsMax here. A U.S. judge rejecting the company's 3rd attempt to use bankruptcy to tackle claims with regards to its talc powder and ovarian cancer. Back to you.
All right, so yeah, it looks like that number will be a little southbound for this market here coming through. So yeah, we started to, exit stage left of many of these names. So yeah, there it goes, man. Apple. I mean, just before the number came out, we were getting out, and then it came out, and we got the high of the day again. So just back-to-back jacks right there, right? Like we're using the torpedo bat here or something. There it goes, man. Nice move there. And then same thing with NVIDIA, like just able to get out on those numbers as we hold a very, very small piece back in. So I see your both positions are out. What was going on over there?
Oh, Micron just lost the low here on MU. So I still like it to 86. 86 is next level. We're $1 down from the 86. We just, 87. We're $1 down from there. It's that or 84 that we got to wait for now that you're headed southbound. We wanted Mara short. Unfortunately, as that number came out, you got a spike to the downside on Mara. Wasn't able to pick up VWAP. I thought maybe the number would come out and give us a little bit of a spike to the upside and we could get picked up along that train. But now everything's starting to head precipitously to the downside. So we're waiting for 86 on Micron. I'm only, like I said, as long as Micron is above 85, I'm only looking dip buys. I'm willing to wait this one out, see if it can't make another low, and then we'll go aggressively off that bottom. But it's 86 next, or hold the prior day high. That's what I'm looking for right now, unless we get a retracement in Mara to be able to jump into that one too, the south side. Let's know what else you guys might be watching, but I'm watching Mara and Bitcoin to a certain extent, but mostly Mara and Micron are the 2 names I want to stay focused on. Tesla still hasn't gone anywhere near $256, so I'm not getting into that one just yet. Just about trying to be patient here because Micron, to me, is the one that I want to see it do the reversal. And if it does a trend reverse, that's another way to get in. It hasn't quite had enough data to form a trend line for me, so I'm still waiting for the bid.
Yeah, we loaded and not loaded. We took NVIDIA a little bit again right here. I'm just trying to buy a little bit more if we do break 107, and I was only going to give this one to 106.75s. So again, we put back on about half of a unit just because of the market move, right? I mean, I just thought that this was going to, and here we go. I mean, let's just go. You know, like I said, we've done well, man. Today, I know it's been an up and down kind of it. Wow. Just believe. Just believe. That's all. Take your trades and believe in what you're doing. There it goes. This is a reload there on NVIDIA. So yeah, I mean, I can't, you know, this is how we talk, this is how we trade. And you know, again, if you guys are following what I'm doing, what Neil's doing, our positions are right there at the bottom, and you can, you know, follow us, ask us anything. It's tough to get them as, you know, we're trading because, you know, we're using, you know, real capital here, and trying to figure this all out. So yeah, ask us anything you need to, man. There's 223 again. The day continues to go here. So MLGO, again, another halt. You know, we had tried this. In trading, you have to be honest with yourself. And we tried it and we got out immediately. And I'm going to leave it alone now until this settles down. I'm not going to revenge trade this or anything like that. We are down on it. We talked about that. But at the end of the day, you know, we've made our money here and our money here and taken an L there. So 2 for 3 so far there today, but still holding our highs, right? We had gotten stopped out on that play, and now we're gonna try to make the next play. And that was the whole thing about yesterday was, you know, not making a mistake, but losing on a trade and then exiting it and then figuring out what trade is next. So you're not just like sitting there, you know, so focused on the losing trade and trying to get upset about it, just move on to something else. So that's what we did with MLGO. We'll get out some more NVIDIA if it comes back here in the 30s. I'm now offering, I'm offering 36s. Okay. Oh. Neil, man, when you're reading the board, man. We talk about that all the time. There goes NVIDIA. We just talked about getting a little bit more out. It went right to our level one more time. Let's take another piece out in case that is a level. But there it goes. NVIDIA, still a quarter in the money. We're actually done well on this because we got the reload there. We're getting lighter and lighter. I'm going to take one more fill underneath 107. Other than that, let's ride. And then now we're at day's high, basically, for Apple. Apple's a $4 winner right now. So there we go, man. $4 plus $1, you know, in the money for $4.55 right now. So far, so good, man. And we'll just wait. Like, it's 10:06. If there's any stocks you guys want us to look at, let's do that. We talked about NewsMax a little bit. I've been looking at this as this is at 160 right now and going higher, up another 100% today. And then MLGO. So yeah, man, the day continues to be a good one over here. Let's go find out what you're up to.
Well, still waiting, and right now Micron it's held a low. I think we're right to get out. It broke our level. We're waiting for 86. It's still under 87 as far as I'm concerned. There hasn't been a trend reversal just yet. And then Mara, well, I'll show you what Mara just did. Mara just broke the low and broke yesterday's low as well. I'm not shorting any bottoms the same way I don't like breakouts. I don't want to be shorting any bottoms on MARA and not going to take another salvo there. IBIT's lost a bid and now trending to the downside. But it was never IBIT that I wanted long. We wanted longs going into the prior high, so we're taking it as it was trying to get through that prior high, but always going to stop out under that previous bar. But with the trend down in IBIT, I'm not fighting it, and I wanted Mara to the south side. With this move down, I think now is the time that we get, now's the move down in Micron, so the next level, 86, that's where we're long in the afternoon. It was able to bounce there into 87, so I mean, patience sometimes is a good thing. I feel like being patient on Tesla has yielded no trades yet in Tesla, but it's still within the range. It is Micron that I want to grab off 86. Just trying to stay focused on a strategy that we liked. Frank Jones saying XLE is flushing. Really? I actually liked the daily. The daily chart was looking pretty darn good on XLE the other day. Unfortunately, if it is flushing, that's not good. At least prices for us are going down at the pump. All right, so we're looking for the mean revert and 86 coming in on Micron. Well, it's just pandering for the election.
Yeah, I saw 136. That was great.
Just getting rid of the carbon tax temporarily so they can buy some votes.
Oh, that's what it was today. Okay, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, the Liberals should win. It's a blowout right now in the polls, but we don't know what's going to happen. Okay, so NVIDIA, there it goes, man. You know, we lost our last little bit there, but as you guys know, we were only reloading it right there at 90s. So we wound up losing 15 cents on the last boat there of NVDA. And that's fine. I mean, like I said, man, we're going to be here to trade. So if that winds up happening, that winds up happening. And, you know, you're going to make some calls that do not work out. I was just looking, though. It's not like it's a huge candle or anything to the volume side of this. We still have that huge candle from yesterday, but I can't edit that. But, yeah, it's not like a huge spike or anything like that. That's yesterday's. I guess if I go, yeah, there we go. There you go. So, yeah, could have seen a little bit of a bottom there. What's that level right there? That's 107. Okay. It's early to get right back in. We said sometimes when we lose on something, we don't necessarily want to just like jump right back into it and get too excited about it. But yeah, the market, yeah, okay, let's hold off. We don't need to jump anywhere right now. Apple, good outs. We can see the amount of shares. We have less than 3% left or so of Apple. I am really debating this NVIDIA back long again through 107. All right, let's just try a little bit of it now. Like, basically a quarter of a unit, nothing big. Let's just see if this works out for us because I do want to use that as our bottom, which is 106.70. So let's just see if that does hold, that 107. But the market right now is bleeding down. And we said that we weren't going to do something like this. So very, very small just to see if it does hold this 107. It's an area that we wrote down. We were willing to take a 30-cent hit on a quarter of a unit. So we'll average it in a little bit more if it does come back. But so far, a small little take there. A lot of you guys were mentioning Oklo. We can have a quick look at
Rigetti,
that. Yeah, Oklo, Rigetti, QBPS, IonQ, all the same kind of runners there. Either it's a quantum name or a uranium name, but there goes Oklo. Yeah, decent level there, trying to hold. You know, the pre-market was nothing. There wasn't too much volume, so the pre-market's down here at 21.85. Good move back up. You're trying to hold the 200 period, so that looks like pretty solid. You can always ignore sort of that first move. So right now, yeah, long Oklo looks pretty good to me, man, using 23 as your base. So Oklo right now trying to work out. Good job. If you're on that one, it looks pretty good.
Now, Oklo looking interesting for sure. It looks like a Micron caught the bid a little bit before at 86. The 86 half starting to hold there. Bit of a bottoming tail candle. So I just jumped on the bid in front of that 86 and a half. See if we can't pick it up. And again, it's now got a clean trend line. So I can at least draw a little, like 3 points, a little better on a 15-minute, but I'll show it to you on the 3. So if it breaks and holds above the trend line, that's going to be an add. I like that trend reverse, but remember, this has been a dog so far. You had one bounce off 87 that worked. The second bounce off 87 was a fail. That was right around the number as well. If we cannot hold on to this floor, I think we head down to 86. Mara just continues to absolutely plummet here. It's now getting very heavy to the downside on Mara. I'm not really thinking long on this name, so I'm not going to chase it either. UAL as well, along with the airlines. Just all straight down, like UAL plunging. It's not showing you any kind of a bid. Same thing with AAL. Just going to have to play patient if we want to join that short. I'm not punching into any lows of the day at all. And for anyone looking at Thomas, you're absolutely right, or Tomas. That could be Tomas, could be Thomas, whichever one it might be. The Q's also breaking the lows. This is the key test. Like if you can't hold on to these lows, it'll be a quick exit on Micron off of this bottom, giving it down underneath this kind of consolidation level there at the end of the day. If we can hold that, great. It probably means the Qs have held. But if we bounce off the lows, that is an opportunity to get into some shorts. If the NASDAQ and the ES bounce off the lows, then I want to look at UAL. I want to look at Mara on any kind of a fade back into some of that. Maybe it's VWAP. You never really know what you're going to be able to get on any kind of a pop. It's just a trend join. It happened to pop into VWAP last time. But even if it goes into the prior low, the opening range bottom, that's 1130 on Mara, I'll take that. It's got a lot of room to fall because there's nothing underneath here. That was 52-week lows that broke yesterday. So there isn't a number that you could tell me that Mara could hit that I wouldn't necessarily believe. So I'm still willing to join it. It's only 10, 12. We can always get back into it or get into it for the first time if it's going to trend all day long. Why is the SPY bleeding, F. McDowell? Hard to say. We had a pretty good rally off the open yesterday, and we got tariffs coming tomorrow. So maybe there's some of that profit being taken. Makes some sense.
Yeah, exactly. Today, it's not, you know, we did, I think, did we get green? I mean, we might have got green there at one point. I just have to fix my
The ES did
AirPods
yesterday.
There. Oh, yesterday was good. The Dow was up 400 points yesterday at close.
The NASDAQ never got green.
Yeah, the NASDAQ was down 0.14 yesterday. Okay, so yeah, you know, this is a chips day, I feel like. I mean, we were looking at NVIDIA there. Neil's been on Micron. We've been looking, should maybe be looking at Intel, but we are still continuing to bleed down. So, no, I don't think, I'm not even, I mean, Intel, we should probably be short. But, okay, so AMD, okay, my chart did not switch yet. AMD is still holding. So we had wrote down 101. It looks like that was a little bit of a better hold than NVIDIA, because yesterday there's that 101, right? And again, like, it'll just pick your poison. I chose AMD. We had written right down here, NVIDIA or AMD at 101. So it's just a matter of like, you know, probably looks like going the wrong way. Well, look, I mean, we're up on NVIDIA, so I'm not going to say that we did anything incorrect, but that was a better move, I think. 101 up there to 102.6, so about $1.60. What was the move there on NVIDIA? Was 107 to, oh, exactly the same move, $1.60. So, okay, so happy with what we did. The only thing is that this is broken, so AMD has not. So if we're gonna play one against the other, it looks like a little weaker. We're still long, like we're flat right now. We did buy some NVIDIA at this level, so we'll wait to see if that holds. But for right now, we would still be fine on AMD, but it is pushing down, right? There is some pressure for sure on that play. It looks like we just stopped again there. We were trying to get out at 93s, just stopped at 91 and tried to go through. So I don't know, man. There's sellers stopping these moves now. These high wicks, we were in it on all these wicks and we just never bothered to get out. So there it is. Let's take it out now. Okay, here we go. Maybe we can get a 94? Yes, sir. All right. Nice little reload there now. Get me a 94 again if we can. There he goes. Yeah. Let's just scalp this out, man. Nice trade there. Another 15 pennies or so on it. Let's get another piece out. There it is. Yeah, another piece out at 95. So we're just getting them out, man, as my good friend Sharif says, as quick as you like, right there on NVIDIA. So we'll take another piece. Let's get another one out. So there it goes, man. More and more and more. We hit the sirens for another one. So there it goes, man. Good trading today. We go right back to the highest spot of the day, despite losing out on that NVIDIA trade. And there it goes, man. Good job so far here as we continue to go, man. Yes, sir. It's a good day. Nice move for NVIDIA. Nice move back up there. See if we can get some more out there in the 17s and the 18s. Yes, sir. There it goes. All right, you're finally into Tesla here. There it goes. Nice move up. Let's go, NVIDIA. We'll see if we can stay on this one. Apple and NVIDIA starting to go. Let's hope that Tesla can take you with it, man.
Well, Tesla just broke trend for the first time here on the session. Like I said, you have to wait for a trend line to form. It's after 10 o'clock, but it just broke the trend and then stalled at VWAP at 263.5. I'm going to offer out in front of 265, and then that'll be the next salvo. Then we wait for the high of the day. If it can't close above the bar, which it's struggling to do so right now. It'll be a 3-minute candle. If it can't close above this bar, then I don't want to add to it. And my stop out is, usually I'd use the prior bar, but you have a wick 20 cents lower on this bottom. So I'll let it break this bottom here at 61, but we're not adding to it unless it closes above that bar. Newsmax went to $172 and locates just went to 94. So locates just went up again on Newsmax by another 50% as this continues to go absolutely ham. Sorry, check that, $180. So I'm not paying for the locates. I just remember at HKD, it made its high when the locates kept going up the price of shorts. It got to almost $200 for 100 shares. And I remember that being a temporary top. So it's a bit of a theory that you don't really get too many options to, or opportunities to test in practice. I'm going to be eyeballing that. If I see that spike to 200, I'm going to go right over and see what the price action might be. And then maybe we'll actually have something. So Tesla, first time long, it's not 257, but the price is above prior day high, and it's a trend reversal trade, so we're in it for the first time in here. Micron never got to 86, still at about 86.5. I'm waiting for it to get down to 86. It's still looking weak. The market's looking weak. Tesla never broke the low of the day when the markets were making those lows. So my next offer is above VWAP in front of 265, and I'm still looking for this candle to close above this trend line here on Tesla. Up 1%, not looking bad relative to the market.
No, Tesla's been a pretty hot stock for a minute, that is for sure. All right, so we were celebrating NVIDIA because it was all the way up, and we talked about, the style of trade that we wanted to do on NVIDIA. So we really did clean it out once it broke back up above there. We looked at that 107 area, and again, if it was going to go fine, but now that it's not and we're back underneath, let's just take out the rest basically. So that's what we're trying to do. We only have 30% left now, but it's trying to get into danger again. So our stop, we'll give this now to 106.50. I was only going to, there we go, take some more out. I was only going to give it to the low of 106.70, but well, now we have even less now, 30% left. We had 33, now we have 30%. As we said, to go back to the downside right now. NewsMax is $190 right now.
Go to 200.
I guess we picked the wrong one. MLGO open, might halt up. Maybe you want to look for that one. Maybe we can get back in MLGO if it does want to halt up. We can have a look at that one. But there's NMAX right now starting to go. So nice move there for NewsMax. 190. We said yesterday, getting some out at 80, in my opinion, anyways, prudent thing to do.
Well, it opened at $14.
Right. So, I'm not going to disagree with myself or with anybody that did that. But I was not in it. So it's one thing when you're in something and, able to take advantage of it and it's your money. So yeah, great move. I mean, again, a lot of the traders that will trade bigger, I don't want to say crazier moves, but really that's what this is. All often have big time losers as well in their accounts because some of these don't do this. And sometimes you get caught at the top, you're unable to get out. We had that other stock of, look at this name, absolutely crazy. What was it, RGC?
RGC.
Yeah, this was a $90 name. Yeah, and this is down to $30 right now. So again, there's the daily chart on RGC.
For those stocks, one thing to consider, I'm sure you only need, if you have a strategy for those, you probably are working on strategies that only need to win 1 out of 3.
Right.
Because you're just destroying it when it wins and holding it for that ridiculous move on that kind of a name. But understanding you try to limit the loss the best you can, and if you do better than the coin flip, you're probably doing fantastic. Thank you for the reload there, Randy.
Neil's in Tesla there, Randy.
Tesla's somehow stronger than the market, but I feel like if we lose the shelf here, Tesla's going to do what everything else is doing, like this, and we're actually breaking lows as we speak. So if we're breaking lows, that's not when I want to be on the bid. I want to be in the bid when we're bouncing. I just wanted to show you guys that range. We've closed above the bar, so I'm looking for a place to add because we've closed above the trend line. Oh, Intel. I said you don't want to look at Intel. The reason you don't want to look at Intel is because Intel's down 3.5% and continuing to bleed. It's okay, so we missed that one. Went long IBIT instead of short Mara. I'll slap a fail on that one. Yesterday we're short Mara. Today we decided to go long IBIT and don't get the short in Mara. That was obviously a mistake. But I'm just going to point out Intel lost the 50 period and a bit of it's not a flat bottom break, but you lose 21.75 in here, yesterday's lows. There's not a lot standing in the way of Intel and the absolute bottom here at $19. I think it probably bounces off the even dollar before it does anything else. But I got to try to join the short. We're breaking the lows as we speak, and it's Mara, it's Intel, it's UAL. Those are the kind of names that we wanted to be short, and they're not providing you with much of a bounce in here. So I'm kind of thinking it's the nibble in to the prior high and just take a small shot at it because it's not giving me the bounce to view up right now. The market's just tanking, and the shorts that I want are going without me here. So it is what it's a phrase. It is what it is. All you can do is take the next trade. I can't rewind time and go short Mara and instead of going long on IBIT. All we can do is make the next trade and head to Adara for the small cap recap.
Here's the IWM, and this thing is really bleeding here, down about 1.5%, rounded top. Let's see if we're able to bounce at all at these lows from yesterday. We are quickly approaching them, currently trading below 197. Let's keep an eye here on Applied DNA Sciences, APDN. This one here with a just under 1 million share float, so pretty small float. 22% of that is going to be sold short. So keep an eye here on APDN. With regards to their catalyst here, they announced that they're trying to position their testing service as a preemptive testing service for a specific type of cancer therapeutic based on the publication of their FDA safety announcement. Now here we have AAPL, no catalyst for this one today. It's worth noting, Hepion Pharmaceuticals apparently had a 1-to-50 reverse stock split as of March 17th. So that is less than half a month ago. As of right now, though, AAPL already trading around 60 cents per share, very volatile for this one. And last but not least, we've got this ticker right here, ICCT, that is iCore Connect. This one, no catalyst, day 2 move for iCore Connect with a 1 million share float. Back to you.
All right, man, we just spin it again, man. There's the money on the TQs, man. We bought that dip, and there it goes again for the futures. Boom, boom, boom. There's, I mean, one more time, man. We did it right there. So good trading so far on the TQs as we go right in there and buy those dips on the futures. We did lose it on NVIDIA, did come back out there, and, you know, there's the bad wick for NVIDIA. So we get out of that one as it continues to go higher, but who really cares? Because right now, man, as Neil said, just move on. Like, I know you're talking about your day there. We're just going to move on, look for better names, right? And so not better names, sometimes different setups, so on and so forth. So yeah, man, good look there getting into Tesla for the first time. That's going to be a good ripper there as the TQs continue to make that day for me, continue to go higher and higher and higher right there. Good job trying to get this, and there it goes. Now, look, off the bottom right there, we averaged into this trade. So off the bottom right here, it's about 60 or so, 70 cents there. So let's wait to see. Good little comeback off the lows there. I don't know. It could just be a fake rally. We'll see.
Well, I hope it's not a fake rally, but I just double dipped out of, not really a double dip, double offered out of Tesla at 265. So I'm out of it, but we also broke trend in Micron. So Micron, very similar trend break happening right now. I'm trying to pick it up at 86.5. I don't want to chase too far. I might nibble it in the high 60s to 70s. But a big shout out to Trade the Pool for everybody, because everyone knows the saying, big opportunity comes with big risks. Think about NewsMax. But what if that wasn't true anymore? Trade the Pool is redefining what risk means for traders. No more risking your life savings to prove yourself in the market. They give you access to company capital, up to $200,000 to trade real stocks, no CFDs. And your downside is limited to a single one-time fee that starts at just $47. That means no blowing up your personal account. You get to trade with serious buying power, all while knowing your loss is capped. Trade the Pool now offers unlimited time for the evaluation. You get the freedom to trade your way with no time pressure. Visit tradethepool.com and see how far your $47 can take you. Chip in the chair is what you need. It's an old poker saying, but it's also true in the markets. Probably, look, maybe could have held on to Tesla a little bit there. I keystroked out of it. I could have punched right back in, but I went over to Micron as that was showing the exact same setup, trend down, breaking trend, closing underneath. So I wanted to make sure we grabbed that, because really those were the two ideas that we liked, and Tesla hadn't presented itself. Well, Micron has. We took one shot at Tesla. This is our fifth shot at Micron. Thankfully, I mean, that was a good trade on Tesla, so it'll cover up Micron, but it doesn't cover up an IBIT, which we should have had Mara. We're long IBIT and lost on that. Mara should have been a short. But now that you're breaking trend on Micron, there you go. Let me just redraw that. Close above the trend line. As with that play, it's very much like Tesla. Prior bar low was my out. I want the long back into here. If it breaks 86.40, then we jump out of that trade. So I've been trying to work Micron on the way down. I love where it is on the daily, so I was only actually looking at longs today on Micron because of where it's starting from. I think any rally has a chance to get to 90 bucks today on Micron, if not even 90.75, which is this prior low from last week. So we're into it. Tesla will look for a reload because the market's looking pretty strong here. If it closes holding VWAP, I'm actually looking for it to get back down to like 261, 62 where we had it before. But if we close at VWAP and put in some more higher lows, we'll just ride the wave to the upside on Tesla.
Very nice trade there on Tesla. Futures just went about 70 handles. So these are the buys. These are the outs. So far today, Apple, Apple out again. We have now 2% left. Probably just dump this, man. That was a good move back to the upside. MLGO is now halted back up. I was watching it, but I missed it because we got into the futures. It's too bad. I literally changed it on one of my screens, but I am glad that we put on the futures trade right there as well. And then NVIDIA, we got stopped out right there, which was crazy, but you got to have those plays. Again, number one P&L name will still be Apple. Then we'll go to NVIDIA as number two. Then the TQs obviously is number three. We'll go 3 for 4 today with the loser there on MLGO. Let's just have a quick look at CoreWeave. Good look there in the chat. I did not look at this yet today. $41. Nice move there for CoreWeave. Starting to go back up there, up 9%. I mean, don't feel like you missed it, but you might have missed it. It's had a nice move there off of 36.37. It's only been 2 days. Count the IPO day. I don't think you're going to really get into there. And if you are, probably just some holder shares. And then, but to trade it, still 42 has been the high. We'll wait to see if it does get through there at all for CoreWeave. So far, so good. Anybody trying to hold that one? I would say that if we're going to, I'm just going to get at another piece there. I think we just got a 20s. Yeah, we did. We just got those 20s. So I was going to say that if you do fall back into VWAP, I mean, trade this kind of like an earnings name, you know, because basically it is just new information coming out, a brand new stock, and new people will start covering it and so on and so forth. But there it is, a nice downside, not covering it yet. Downside down into 39. So VWAP there for CoreWeave looking pretty interesting. So yeah, just a couple little levels. Oh, one stock that we didn't look at all today.
NMAX is going to VWAP itself.
Oh, NMAX is coming back down? Oh, that's good. Palantir, 83. So there's that whoops, all the way down in a nice battle back off of 81. So yeah, all right, I thought you just had it up. I'll just call it up just quickly here.
Well, I just got into, I was going to go to
190.
CoreWeave. I'll get to CoreWeave in a second, but we just got to VWAP on Mara. So coming back in, I should add it on the way up. We took the salvo at the bottom, but that's not the level we like. We wanted to ride that trend. So it's underneath VWAP in here. Probably chased it down to 25 a little bit. Actually got filled at 26. But if we break out VWAP, we're getting out of this name. Should have been an early short. It'll have to be a late short because that's what's presenting us. Micron's still not doing a heck of a lot off that trend break, holding the higher low, but you're not really breaking out in earnest just yet. I thought maybe that bounce in the market was going to give us an entry into Intel short. Intel's not moving. It's still at the low of the day. Give it a chance. I mean, it still has a chance at some point to maybe make a move up that we can fade. But at least for now, nothing doing with Intel. We said missed opportunities to the sell side. Tesla's still holding above VWAP. I think this is just a buy the dip situation with no longer looking for the pullback into the prior high. It's got to be the pullback into VWAP here on Tesla. Super strong, 2.5% into a weak market. I think this is a good continuation play here for Tesla. Like that, I'm just looking at this and Micron for the long side and trying to keep it simple with those two names. Jameson says Tesla short squeeze. I can believe you. I mean, I think also too, like if you continue this rally, you got 268 to contend with, but above that, you got a little bit of a gap. So I think there's plenty of chance to get back into the long because I can see you pulling back off this 67, 68, and then look for dip buys. Still a bit range bound relative to what we saw on Friday. Like it's just holding Friday's bottom end of the range. But I still think we'll find resistance at the top. You buy the dips, and Tesla, you know it can get that goods. It can get those goods if it continues to rally. Let's go to Adara because it's 10:30 already. So I guess we're talking a little bit about crypto and how bad ETH has been lately.
We are going to talk here about crypto. This is BTC. The last couple of days, we have been pretty tightly trading here. Lows yesterday here on the 81 and a third area. Currently here, high of day, just below that 85,000 level, and we're trading just above 83,000 as of this second. Now, when it comes to crypto-related news headlines, it's worth noting, I was reading this here, according to Immunify, which is like I say, research agency, apparently crypto hacks in Q1 2025 led to $1.6 billion of losses. Apparently, this makes it the worst quarter for crypto security breaches in history. Apparently, over 60 crypto hacks occurred in the crypto market in Q1. So keep an eye here on BTC. Just an interesting story there with regards to a Q1 roundup on crypto hacks. Bitcoin here actually basically flat. Ethereum up almost 2%, doing better than it was earlier this morning and continuing to inch towards 1900. XRP up almost 1%. BNB up 2.5%. Doge, Cardano, both strong here. Solana, though, slightly red on the day. Back to you.
The futures went from the bottom of the day, which we actually have the low tick in the NASDAQ pit today. So there it goes, man. 55 on the TQs right there, 55.67. We have this wick right there on the NASDAQ. So, you know, when we can get literally the low of the day right back up into the 50-period moving average, that's great. That's the NASDAQ, of course. We actually hit the 200 and up to VWAP again there on the TQs. And not only that, but it was a reloaded position because we got in, then we got out, then we got back in and let this name continue to climb. So far, so good on that one. And then again, we have Apple that we're waiting for. So let's just, you know, look for some more names there. Yeah, we talked about Tesla getting to 270. I mean, we did write that down, and it almost got there early. Our low was going to be 257 that we had written down. It did not get there, so we'll wait on that one. Roblox as well. Huge move up, huge move down as they clarify.
What the heck?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess they must have had something going on there. With Google, we already know what the story was. They're introducing ads. And then I guess,
was the story not true?
No, probably true. I mean, it's still up 1.4%. So, yep. So there it goes. Just again, exuberance in the pre-market, right? I mean, we've seen that many times on many stocks. So it's probably a good buy right there, giving you, one of the easier trades of the day, coming right back in there into 58 again. So, MLGO halted and reopened. Didn't do too much on that. I was actually like, man.
NewsMax bouncing off VWAP. For what it's worth, NewsMax is bouncing off VWAP. For anyone that's, like if you're trading it, and again, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. If locates were not $100 for 100 shares, I think it'd be more reasonable to at least look for a shot at it. But I'm not, you're paying that price and then you add that to the spread and you just run yourself into a world of hurt, I think. So a bounce off VWAP could happen. A loss of VWAP, I suspect, could have a halt down, which maybe you trade off of. Tesla just got to 67, so you're at the opening range top. I'm just going to get rid of this trend line. I don't need it anymore. We've already used it, and it doesn't apply. So if we get a bounce off VWAP, that's what I'm looking for next. Dip into Tesla off VWAP and Micron, which just broke its trend. It's now held, so the prior bar is now 86.5. I'm just going to move my stop. We lose the 86.5 level, or area, I should say, because I never put it at like 49 or anything. If we lose that prior bar, now we'll get out looking for VWAP and then the opening range top, which was 88. Like we had it early off 87 and it couldn't get past 88. So I want to respect that price here on Micron. If that's where sellers went before, then I don't mind jumping at them or jumping out in front of that level and taking our profit. Intel's on the charge to the upside, relatively speaking, for it today. So this might give a chance at the VWAP continuation short. NASDAQ down 0.5, but we've just held the lows and started to come back into the volume weighted average price itself. The NASDAQ's going to curl. Intel is relatively weak, and that's where I'd rather short. Just be careful on that NMAX, that NewsMax stock. Like VWAP is a line on a chart. Just because it happens to hold VWAP, like you could have a 10% candle through VWAP. It might not mean anything. I was just pointing out that it was there. Like, I'm not going long it off VWAP, just to be clear. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. All right. NASDAQ down to 83. Bitcoin down to 83,000. Was just looking at IBIT. They did have a blowout bottom as well down there. It's already 1035. So I'm going to try to let these futures go a little bit. We've already taken some out. We actually still have 30% left of our reload right there. So we've actually taken the majority of this out at 56, and we actually made a keystroke and we bought it right back. So that's why we had 2 reloads right there. So that was that. What was that? Sorry. Sure, no problem. All right, so we're watching out for Apple, waiting out for the TQs. I did want to have a look at some Chinese names with Alibaba right there, 132. So they battled back nicely as well. They had to dip down into 129 or so yesterday. Yeah, there it was right there, 126 actually, 127 a couple days ago, 129 yesterday. So Alibaba flat today, but still stronger than the NASDAQ. Let's go, man. I really hope these TQs can go. So right now, although every time we come over here, it's $2 or $3, we still have $2.50 on for Apple, and now we have another 60 cents right here for the NASDAQ as that's trying to break through. So you can, find great charting available right here with eSignal. Make sure you do scan that QR code below to get your 1 free month. We've been able to fandangle that through eSignal. So there we go. Yeah, Tesla's trying to rip now as well as there goes the NASDAQ back up to the upside. So, hey, man, stay real with it. If you want the really the best charts, it's eSignal. Easy to use, very easy to integrate into all of your brokers, 50 plus of them, customizable charts, all the scanners you need, all the backtesting that you need, tons of tools, man. Fibonacci's, VWAPs, anchors, anything that we talk about generally on the show will be available with eSignal. So make sure you do scan that QR code there below and get on board with us and with eSignal. Come on, we are just waiting at 60. Thank you, eSignal, for that. We're just waiting, yeah, exactly. We're just waiting at 60 there for the TQ. So let's see if we can get going now one more time. We're actually at 61s. I don't know why, but we might have just got hit if we were at 60s. There it is, man. It's a 60 handle winner for you on the futures there. So, yeah, man, good day. At 10:40, We'll check out JP Morgan. You know what? Maybe let me just get out of a piece right here at 54s. Hopefully we can get that. It looks like we might be struggling. There it is. Okay, we just got it. So we're not struggling at all to get that price. JP Morgan with a bounce back off the lows, but it did not have a good morning. As we can check out what the financial sector is doing. XLF today down to 49.40, giving us, still down 0.8. So as we said, it's next Friday. It's the 11th. So thankfully, it's not Friday the 13th, where we'll get all of the banks, not all of them, but they will start it off there. And WFC is generally one of the first ones.
The big ones all happen in the first 3 days,
Yeah, so there it is, man. WFC coming through as well. The Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, all of that. You guys know that I am well invested into JP Morgan right now. There it goes, man. Huge monster there. That's over 100 handles. Right there on the TQs, 100 handles. Okay, now we are really going now as Apple takes off. There it is, man. There's the NASDAQ. We talked about it. Thank you so much for everybody from yesterday, all the comments on Twitter about the futures trade. I want to thank everybody for that. Go over there to X. Look, man. Look, Mom, we did it again as it goes back there to the upside one more time for the NASDAQ. Thank you for watching, and I really do hope you enjoy the show. Hit the like, hit the subscribe.
Exactly, and you got to be patient waiting for your levels. I'll admit, I went long 1, 2, 3. This one is good because it was at least at 86. 4 times before we actually got to the bottom. The bottom one didn't work. The mean reversion's going to work. We didn't get everything we wanted out of it because I wasn't able to get the best prices on that trend break. But as long as you hold VWAP in here, I'm looking for the 88 out. As Micron crosses VWAP, Tesla's at $270 without a pullback in sight. Whoops. But we're looking for it to get into 272 would be like a prior support to resistance level. I thought we'd get a dip in Tesla. As I said, I double dipped, keystroked out of it, thought we were coming back into the downside. It never happened. Sometimes you should just punch back in at the exact moment. I did not, but you got to move on to the next. So Tesla, mean reversion worked. I can't even think about VWAP at this point. Got to look at the prior high, which is 267. So any fail break of 270, I'm looking for 267 to come right back in. I do not want to chase any of these tops. As you're seeing a topping tail candle right now in Tesla off 270, but look at this prior high that it had, so 267. We'll look for to pick up the dip at that price. Let's go to Adara. Time for Sector Watch. Oh, XLE's having a rough day. Shoot, I was considering.
It's interesting. That nice push to the upside in a lot of these NASDAQ names just now, but the rest of the market is really weak. Health technology here, J&J dragging this group to the downside. Consumer durables, with the exception of Nike, pretty red. Commercial services, pretty red. Transportation, red. Energy minerals, you guessed it, red. And finance, as Sean just noted there, notably weak. JP Morgan down about 1%. Wells Fargo and Bank of America down a little bit more than that. Electronic technology, even with the exception of GE, is not getting this bump. Broadcom, Nvidia to the downside. Broadcom actually one of the weakest names in Q1 2025. Also to the downside here is going to be Intel. INTC here. Lip-Bu Tan made his first speech as CEO yesterday. Clearly, though, was not able to help the stock. Microsoft and Google to the upside in technology services, but the rest of the sector a little bit muted. So there might be a couple names that are strong, but overall, this market, when you look at it from this sector board, does not look particularly stunning to start the new month and quarter. Back to you.
Yeah, it doesn't look the best, but remember, you're coming off the worst quarter since 2022 for the S&P. Although when I read that note, I saw it on like another site. It was like, you could at least say which quarter it was in 2022, because that's not that long ago.
No.
It's not like you're saying the worst quarter in 50 years or 25 years. Like, it's since 2022. Like, are you kidding me? So Tesla does do that pullback off 270. You still haven't had a resolution just yet. So you're still headed down. Like to see it settle up a little bit, and once it does, we'll look for an entry point. It could get all the way to VWAP, but I'll be looking for something before then. Like maybe you break a trend down at some point and find a consolidation level. Anywhere from 66 to 67 is going to make sense. Micron's still looking like it's battling with VWAP, so a little distinctly different. You're still you broke that trend, but you're still holding underneath the volume weighted average price. So big one has to hold here above this prior highs. Let's see it dip back into maybe 87. If it can hold 87, then we want to add to it. With the market screaming, Intel's trying valiantly to get to VWAP. Just a note, it is wicked and broken VWAP multiple times when it was that reload. So this was not it gets the VWAP line on chart and then it goes short. No, it's going to try and wick you out. It's going to try and reverse on you. I'm waiting for a topping tail candle, something that you see here or something that you see there, and then get back in after it's made the topping tail candle. Market's screaming, let it give you an indication for an entry. So Tesla dip, Micron, maybe Tesla 270. Never mind.
Let's fucking go. Yeah, and again, like again, we should have been on Tesla for sure. Like we wrote down here long, could see 270 today. So there it goes, man. We had written that down. So congratulations anybody that took that and was able to hold it for that long there on Tesla. But as Neil just mentioned there, though, it was just going through the worst quarter since 2022.
Yes, but
Tesla, and it was NVIDIA had its worst quarter since then. But I just wanted to say, like, despite that, we had one of our best months probably in a year last month in March, and then today it's just kind of. All right, I don't know if Ozan's here or not, but we have the top and the bottom of the NASDAQ so far here. So let's wait to see where we can go. We just took that out right there. So there's the long, there's another piece out. And we told you we had 30% left. Now we have a little less than that as it just continues to go. What's up, Ozan? I mean, everybody in the chat. We can't say it enough, man. We really love the community and everything on here, right? So, hey, Tisha, today is terrible for you. I mean, it's terrible for lots of traders, I'm sure. It's great for lots of traders. That's the ebbs and flows of the market, right? We'll all be green today, and it's a big one again. So we'll just sit here. We're actually making the same as we made yesterday, actually a little more than what we did yesterday, as we took a hit early on something yesterday and was not really able to. Well, we were able to battle back there in the afternoon, I think. I can't remember. Anyways, that's the end of the month. But to start off here with April, it's going to be a good one. And part of that reason is obviously we have this move right there on the TQs. NVIDIA, despite getting stopped out there, monster day for, not a monster day, but a good day for us for me on NVIDIA. And then one losing trade there for MLGO, and then Apple right there as well, up to 222.50. So yeah, that's how my day is looking over here. I know you had that good trade there on Tesla.
Usually if I'm like 1 for 4, 1 for 5, and I have a win like Tesla, I'll be green. But today was a little bit different because I bungled. But ultimately, I took too many shots in Micron. It'll end up working right now. I'm going to get to this super chat, and Nick W. just want to finish the thought for a quick little second. But the biggest miss was not getting into Mara short. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Mara was my best short yesterday, and I went long IBIT instead of short Mara today. You should start with, and I said this to Adara, if stock was your number one long or your number one short the day before, then you should at least start your day heavily considering that pattern just repeats itself. But I wanted to give a shout out to Nick Dubs.
Exactly.
Appreciate you. Super chat for a couple of apple fritters for you guys. I got an issue with that because I'm trying not to eat any more of those for a short time period here. Thanks for the looks on Micron NVIDIA. Made a bunch. Good luck today. Thoughts on INOD? Look, I don't know InnoData. A lot of times people will show these charts up there. You're looking for a long-term entry. I'm not here to give trading or investment advice. All I'll ever do long-term is tell you what I see in a chart or what I'm doing in my own account. Like right now, knock on wood, I'm probably going to take a swing on Micron at the end of the day today. Now, I'm probably jinxing it. It'll be underneath 84 by the end of the day. But what you're seeing here on INOD is not completely dissimilar to the level that you have on Micron, where you see a support level off of 33 here. What I think is distinctly different is it's failed a high, like a higher high, and is now testing it for the first time. Why I liked Micron at that multi-day resistance level, is you failed the high and then already bounced off that level. So that's the reason. Like, I know you're seeing the range, you're like, oh, we like that prior low. Well, I like it on Micron because it's been holding it after failing the top, whereas INOD, I don't know, was it going to hold again? It made a fresh high since then. I don't know if that's still going to be valid. So I'd like to see it hold that level first, just for myself, before I would take that similar idea for a long trade there, Nick. But I like what you're looking at. I look at the same things on long-term charts, like daily charts, just trying to apply support and resistance. I love the theme. I just don't like the first test. I like to join moves off established levels if I can try to do so.
Yes, sir. Okay, they just had to respond to a message there in chat. Okay, so great job, Jay Lee, there in the chat, man. Great trade. Over $5 there, shorting Tesla. Great trade. Someone else wrote down there that we had the sticky note from 257 to 270, but Tesla yeah, we did, but Tesla continues to go. So 271, new highs there for TSLA. It's a good thing. And again, that's the honesty that we talk about, right? I mean, discussing our trades, going through it. We're going to end the day at the highest spot here. I don't think we'll put on too many more trades as we go. Tesla Sexy Time says Mean Gene. Yeah, it definitely seems like that, man. Another 4, yeah, Mean Gene Okerlund, of course, from WWE fame.
You know what? I didn't know it was Okerlund. I should know that, but I didn't.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm here hopefully to
I wasn't
trade
as big of a fan as...
and entertain. Yeah, Mean Gene. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I haven't seen you here before. Buster Stacks, what's up, man? Thanks again for all of the support. Here, if you can go give the show a follow, give me a follow as well. 8,000 or so on Instagram, and then 51,000 on Twitter, where we post up fun things as well as trades that we take. So we're getting out, man. We've only traded hundreds of shares of the TQs, not thousands of that. So it's going to be a good day. But April Fools, we're in sim mode. No, thankfully we're not. Imagine I looked down and that was the case, man. I would killed Joe for putting me in sim mode. But no, nice upside move there. Apple, $3 in the money. TQ's starting to go as well. All right, let's look at something else. What about Roblox, RBLX? Yeah, we used to do that. Roblox, see, there we go. We talked about that as being a bottom there. So if I followed the own rules, that might have been a trade, but we didn't, so that's okay. Roblox now underneath VWAP. I still think it's a long breaking through VWAP. And in fact, through 61.20, I definitely like that one as well. Traders circulating a report on something. It doesn't sound like it's a major stock. All right, so just quickly before we go to Adara, ASPI. Palantir still red. So I just want to go over that because the NASDAQ has made a huge move right there back to the upside. So I know we have the low and the high there, but if we do drop back out, let's just exit this trade stage left. We don't even have our stop out anymore.
There's a story on the automakers.
Is there? Okay, so hold on. 56.99, just so you guys can see. We gone on that one. And yeah, sorry, go ahead, Neil.
So just the European Commission handing out €500 million in fines to 15 major car manufacturers. I'm only mentioning because the market's breaking highs and Ford is at the low of the day. So you're seeing relative. I mean, look, it was already a dog today anyways, but that last little spike, that headline just coming through, so Ford giving under pressure. I mean, it says 15 major car manufacturers, so it's not like they're singling anyone out with a large fine, but it just helps the sentiment to the downside that you're already seeing. I believe we're going to go to Adara, but just one quick update. If we fail this prior high at 88 on Micron, it's trend in, trend out. So broke trend to go in. If it breaks trend, I'm getting out in front of that 88 level here on MU, as I believe we're going to Adara where money talks.
Ooh la la.
Here's the DXY breaking lower here. Lots of volatility for this one. Relatively flat earlier in the session. Then we drop sharply at 10 a.m. when we get slightly weaker than expected JOLTS job openings and that ISM manufacturing PMI print, which also came in a little bit below estimates. Again, the S&P PMI print came a little bit above estimates. We had comments here coming from ISM's leader, Timothy Fiore. Basically, he said that it's worrisome to hear some manufacturing supply managers express some confusion and uncertainty over how to secure inputs, and also said that these tariffs could lead these workers to demand higher wages because they're now dealing with higher costs of living. This could apparently trigger a wage price cycle. So Timothy Fiore raising a couple red flags here with regards to tariffs. Now it could be impacting these ISM prices. So keep an eye on that for sure. Now it is also worth noting, here's the CME FedWatch tool. 84.8% of participants are expecting no rate change here for the May 7th meeting, which is just almost a month away. 15.2% of participants are expecting a 25 basis point cut. Now, why this is interesting is we've actually gradually seen over the last week the odds of a cut increasing. 1 week ago, 13.6% of participants were pricing it in. 1 day ago, 14%. Now, we're up over 1% now, 15.2% of participants. So something to keep an eye on here. It looks like the odds are gradually increasing towards a potential 25 basis point cut in the May meeting, though again, many Fed speakers, including Fed's Barkin yesterday, are making it pretty clear that that is not their current case. But before we send you back to the guys for the last couple of minutes, we are brought to you by ProfitX. Are you looking for unbeatable odds in the biggest games? Switch to Profit X's peer-to-peer platform, where you set the price. There's no more one-size-fits-all lines. It's like crafting your own picking strategy with real-time trading tools. Secure the best odds, track the action, and watch your plays come alive. Experience total control at every step. Profit X, sports playing reimagined. Users can use code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Back to you.
All right, finally, Micron just broke out resistance here. It's now at 88, so this is the spot where it stalled before on the initial long that we had. I'm offering in front of the high of the day. We're going to take it station to station, V-shaped, prior lows hold, resistance in the afternoon, certainly chewing through it now. But it's got a trend break. If it breaks a trend, I'm out. If it prints at 88.25, then we're also going to be out. I said if we get a topping tail candle in Intel, I'd go in. There's a topping tail candle. It just wicked it a second time, the same level-ish, like 22.20. First time 22.18, second time 22.20. So I just got in more at VWAP, and the stop goes above that prior high. So just adjacent to 20. If you can't guess where I put my stop above 20, I don't like even dollar or even area stops, then you haven't been watching the show. That should be pretty obvious. Core, we've just hit 41.29. But the only short we have on right now is the VWAP short on Intel, and we're holding on trend in Micron, as that is now screaming into pre-market highs. Because right at the open, this thing dumped. So we're looking for 88.25 or a break of this trend, which would be underneath about 87.75, but that's a moving target. The higher it goes up, obviously the trend line goes with it, and I'll be moving that manually the entire time.
All right, let's figure out what's for lunch right here. I'll look at Man U for you, Green Hub. Only look at it if you don't put it in anymore. All right, so we'll look at Man U for you.
The stock.
You just don't put it in again. Okay, so yeah, the stock.
I thought you were talking about bets.
Yeah, I've been to Manchester and Old Trafford, so it is your favorite team, so I guess it would be mine as well. All right, so shout out to all you guys. All right, today is, I don't know anything about it. Today is beef stroganoff day today, so not too bad, with buttered egg noodles, steamed veggies, and what's up, Chef Joe? Chef's Choice salad. So again, beef stroganoff, buttered egg noodles, steamed veggies, Chef Choice salad is what's for lunch right there. Okay. We're 200 handles now on the futures. So. All right, Man U. Let's have a quick look at that. So you're stuck 5,000 shares. Well, you're not stuck anything. You can get out here for not that big of a loss right here. So shout out to you. Not too much volume. Again...
Weren't they getting bought?
I don't know, maybe. Without knowing too much about buyouts or anything like that for Man U. Yeah, I don't know. So it looks like here, as we zoom back out, I could see why you would, trust that 1350 level or so because it was that bottom, but now you're underneath of it. So I would actually get out right now, and then the play for me would be to get back in if we break 1420 maybe even. So again, I know it's going to be pain. Even getting out of 5,000 shares would be 10% of today's volume. I'm not too concerned about that per se. I think you can get shares if you did want them. Nice move back up, obviously getting out down there. If you're going to take a 50-cent hit on 5,000 shares, 2,500, not great. But at the end of the day, yeah, you have to think about why did you buy it. So that's always the question. If you bought it because you thought this would hold, well, it didn't hold. So, sometimes the best thing about it is getting out. So that's just one of the things there. I would rather get out than wait to make that dollar back if we do break a little bit higher. But hey, man, up to you, Green Thumb. I just, whenever a story breaks against you, then it's worth checking it out, right? And that did break against you. So I would just say, it seems like, getting out of that position is probably something that you're looking to do, and I don't blame you for that. So yeah, that's probably what I would be looking at right there. Getting out, especially that it broke through that 1350. I'd even get out now and take the L. What about taking the L on half of your position? That's another good possibility there as well. Right. Yeah, and then So take it out for half, take that $1,300 hit, see if it bounces off 13 today. But again, I don't think they're a tariff name, right? So 222.50 there for Apple. That looks like it's a couple tops there. So we'll try to take advantage of that again. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting there. If we can get out, we can get out. We have 2% left of Apple. So breadcrumbs, as my friend Obi has coined there. So breadcrumbs left over on Apple. Obi will be filling in for Sharif for the rest of the week. So get ready for an entertaining midday show as well. But
full of oh boys.
Yeah, or I hope not, but it'll be full of something.
Just Nick W. Same as before. I haven't really changed the target on. Well, actually, no, I moved it up a little bit to the highs on Micron. Putting my trail. Can we come to my chart for a second there, Ramin? Thank you. So I moved the target up on Micron because the trail just keeps on getting higher and higher, now trailing it to the opening range top. So I just sort of moved the target. I'm getting out before the high of the day on Micron. It's still not quite as strong as the market, but if we lose this prior bar, it's not the prior bar, but this little resistance here at 88, we drop underneath that, I'm getting out and then waiting for VWAP. So continuation play for me will be on VWAP there. I am offering out in front of the high of the day to try to get out, but the trail is in on Micron next. So that was always going to be the target. I am in one short. Intel just did another topping tail. All right, we already added, but we're not in a full position on Intel. It did this before at VWAP, like 1, 2, 3 topping tails before coming down. It's doing it again. I'm bidding in front of 22 and in front of 21.9. And then if it goes to yesterday's low, I think you get out in front of yesterday's bottoms on Intel, at least for now. And then the last one, I mean, Tesla is an absolute rocket ship. I think it's worth remembering at least that the 200 period moving average is at 280 change on Tesla. And that's been a top in this rally. Each time it's gotten to the 200 period on Tesla, it has failed the 200 period. So it's within spitting distance today. Let's just leave it at that. This afternoon, if we get to the 80s, and I haven't gone long one more time, then fail. But if we get to the 80s, that's where I'd start thinking about a short on Tesla at that 280 level, which it's not impossible, man. It's not trying to dip. It's not really trying to pull back into prior highs. VWAP is way too gone in here. On Tesla, so I'm not punching into any highs. I think you look for the next available dip. Like, treat it like we did in the afternoon. If it shows you a level on a dip buy, take a shot at it, because this one's a rocket ship up 5% going into the tariff day and deliveries tomorrow. Well, in theory, you always get deliveries in the beginning, the first week of the month. So in theory, they could be as early as tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe the deliveries will be better than expected is what people are probably betting on right now. It's a hot dog kind of a day. No matter what you're having for lunch, there goes Apple back up to the upside. We'll leave you guys with $3.50 plus 2 in the money right now. So $5.50 in the money on the TQs, which is 200 handles. Obi, check this chart out, guy. Look at this. Look at that right there to the upside. So thank you so much, Obi, for that. And then Apple as well. Check this out, Obi, Thank you, my guy. We definitely appreciate that. Props up to Obi as real sees real, and you're about to see real trading with Obi and Joe. So thanks for a great show there today. Thank you, Bears vs. Bulls, everybody, for all the super chats as well. And we're going to see you guys back here at 2 p.m. For now, see ya. Let's go over to the midday. What?
Boom, I can't hear anything, and I'm not going to copy Sharif because that's his thing. We're in the chat. We'll wait for everybody to turn on over, guys. But what's up? Where is everybody just now? We're waiting.